Good morning, everybody. Hi, hi. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. I put on my Sunday best for this amazing day. Uh, Former President Donald Trump, patriot, was saved by the grace of God, and we must celebrate this wonderful occasion. How blessed we are. I'm wearing red in solidarity, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. He has secured the mandate of heaven, and it is his world that we are living in. Precisely. Precisely. We're so blessed to be able to breathe the same air that he is. Anyways, guys, real talk though. This is just a PSA for you guys, okay? Uh I would be much more cautious, chat. Twitch will put you in jail, okay? Twitch will put you in gay chatter jail for months on end. Many such instances of chatters getting banned for months at a time, no appeals. Okay? All the people being like, "Oh my god, dude, the FBI's gonna show up at your door," or whatever. I think those people are over. I don't. I don't think that that's realistic. I just don't. The FBI is more concerned with the people that were at the rally. It's more concerned with the Secret Service members that didn't catch that guy fast enough. They're more concerned with trying to figure out who the fuck this guy is. All right. The FBI, I feel very certain. Maybe I'm wrong, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel very certain that the FBI doesn't care about some random people on Twitter making jokes. I don't think so. Or even on Twitch making jokes. But Twitch does. Twitch does, and Twitch definitely will put you in chatter jail and will not let you out for 6 months. Okay? What's the emote of like the yellow guy inside of the jar? That's gonna be you guys. Time out. Yes, that's gonna be you guys for months on end. So don't get your account banned for no reason. That's silly. Can you tell us what kind of jokes not to make? You guys are smart enough to know, all right? All right, you'll know it when you see it, okay? Take a look at your message before you send it, all right? Nice try, though. Nice try, chatter. Nice try. No, no, no. I have a few brain cells, actually. I know, shocking. And the way that I see it is like TBQH. I feel like the FBI has like tons of lists already, and I feel like just being a leftist already puts you on like 5 of them. So I don't. Unless you start fucking going online, which I don't know how anyone would be crazy enough to do it, but going online and organizing some crazy shit, FBI is not going to show up at your door. Please. Twitch and Twitter will ban you though, either permanently or for 6 months or for a year. And who the fuck wants to do that? Okay, I want to go shitpost in my favorite streamers chat and make them say my cock. Okay, and I can't do that if I'm banned. So. All right. So, I sure hope nothing crazy happened yesterday, and today will be a normal politics stream, right, guys? Surely. Today should be a normal politics stream. Surely. Nothing happened. Everybody knows nothing had happened, okay? As many of you guys already know, President Donald Trump did get shot at last night, or last night, afternoon. It was at 4 o'clock my time. So, yeah, like evening. He was fine. It was a light graze on his ear. I think like a couple stitches. I mean, even in the footage, you can't even see the damage. You just see the blood. And it looks like there was at least one instance. I heard that the graze actually wasn't even the bullet, but it was glass instead. Really, I wouldn't be surprised about that, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually just not even a bullet, because like I said, as many of you guys already noticed, the damage to his ear was very, very minimal. Very, very minimal. Glass from the teleprompter, supposedly. Apparently the glass was rolled out. It was an earlier theory. Well, we're not sure either way. details are still unfolding. This happened less than 24 hours ago, so we'll see. It is worth noting that I'm not going to endorse any conspiracy theories on this front. I think that I really do not think that it is a crazy notion that someone would try and assassinate Donald Trump. I think that that's very believable. I think it's very believable. And I don't think that it is necessary even a little to assume that, oh, this was an inside stage job by Trump, or, oh, this was a stage job by Biden, or whatever. I think that endorsing those ideas are ridiculous. I don't think that that's necessary. I don't think that that's worthwhile. So, yeah. My favorite is that they're using this to say, why are there women secret agents? Yeah, the real reason Trump got injured was because there was a femoid on the stage. Christ. Yeah, definitely woke DEI. Sure, okay. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, yeah, I'm not endorsing any of those theories. I think it is very believable. Is it within the realm of possibility that it was all an inside job? I mean, sure, but I don't usually tinfoil unless I feel like there is significant evidence to suggest that. I think someone hating Trump enough and being mentally ill enough to do it is plausible. It's very plausible. Same thing with an inside job by the Biden team. It seems very unlikely. Again, I'm good on that tinfoil. You guys are welcome to have whatever beliefs or opinions you have there. I just think it's very likely that somebody... Trump is a very polarizing figure. It does not surprise me that someone would hate Trump enough, or at least place their blame and hate on Trump enough to attempt to assassinate him. I don't think that that's a crazy notion. I think that that's more than believable. Okay. What is it? Hanlon's razor? Or no, Occam's razor? I think it's Occam's razor. Yeah. Right? The simplest is usually the most reasonable. Yeah. Precisely. Occam's Gillette. We don't use Gillette anymore. It's woke. Okay, guys, come on. Be real. I'm honestly more surprised that it didn't happen sooner. I'm honestly surprised it happened at all. I'm genuinely very surprised that it even happened. Yeah. Pogo Blues, thank you so much for the 15 months. Thank you. Until there's real evidence, I'm all for the simplest explanation. I'm not into acrobatics as much. Yeah, I don't believe in the gymnastics. I think that that's weird. What I will say, I will put my tinfoil on for 1 second, okay? The society's become so divided that people are willing to kill someone for their political view is just nuts. You have no way of knowing what reason the shooter had for doing what he did. News stations have literally reported on the attempt on Reagan's life as being a way for the shooter to impress a girl and had nothing to do with politics. And you're telling me you know this shooting perfectly? You have no way of knowing why the shooter did what he did. Okay, not just any girl, it was Jodie Foster, okay? Yeah. You have absolutely no way of knowing why the shooter did what he did, what reason he had to be there. Anything else is speculation. Okay? It's ridiculous. Knowing Trump's disdain for his security detail and unwillingness to listen to them, that's not surprising. I think much more surprising is the number of people at the rally that seemingly saw the shooter and attempted to warn Secret Service and were not listened to. That is the crazy part. That's the really, really insane part, actually. To be honest, I really assume that we as in the Secret Service Fed posting, we as Americans have assumed assassinations were a thing of the past. And that shit just doesn't happen anymore because of our intelligence and because of like how good spy tech is, like spying on you, NSA type of shit, spy shit. So I would assume that just breeds complacency, and Secret Service hasn't had to worry about something in ages, something like this, like a direct attack on someone's life. I mean, we had via shooter. We had the instance with the woman in Wisconsin. I don't recall her name. It was an attempted kidnapping, January 7th, or sorry, 6th. The attempts on congressmen's lives, congressmen and women's lives, excuse me. Gretchen Whitmer, was it Michigan? Oh, I'm so sorry. Whitmer in Michigan, yes. Yes, Big Gretch. So, yeah, I mean, I assume the reason they didn't spot the shooter sooner is probably one, there weren't enough staff members at the event looking, because I mean, you can only have so many sight lines to so many things, and you can only look at so many things stationed at a post, right? You need a lot of people stationed at a lot of different posts to have a clear view of everything that's occurring. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more understaffing, that the Secret Service is not sending their best, and that complacency, at least in part, caused that to happen, right? To me, it's not a Secret Service failure. It's that we have too many guns. I mean, of course, right? But you'll never see Republicans endorsing that idea. I find it really hard to believe this kid was walking around with an AR-15 and people were actually able to point to him. I mean, what's hard to believe about that? Let's say the guy is an average right-winger who got radicalized so much he thought Trump was in control or the Jews or something. How does the narrative change? How does it change what? It changes a lot, right? Why are people using the term political violence over terrorism? Because the two are different things and they mean different things. Political violence is the more accurate term here. It's violence against a politician. The reality is terrorism is specifically used, is violence specifically used to further political or ideological desires. We have no way of knowing what this assassination attempt was. Like, we have no way of knowing if the shooter was schizophrenic. We have no way of knowing if the shooter was trying to impress Jodie Foster. We have no way of knowing why they did what they did. Terrorism is specifically in reference to trying to push certain political or ideological goals. Whereas the term political violence is just violence in the realm of politics, right? So yeah, the words mean different things and they refer to different things. It's very important to recognize that. Assassination can be in both categories, right? Yeah. Yeah. Did they figure out which side they were on? Yes. So here's what we know right now. What we know right now, and then we will get back to coverage. I was thinking for today's stream, we can get back to coverage. I want to see how Fox News is reporting on it. I wanted to talk about a few conservatives and the way that they're reporting on it. I wanted to complain that sorry about that. I just, man. I'll get to it, okay? I'll get to it. I have a lot of opinions that I want to complain about, all right? But we'll get to each one. I was thinking of specifically the Blair White tweet that just was driving me up the walls. Fixed your postures. I already responded to this, asking you a question to tell me what specifically you're talking about. How does which narrative change for which group? All right. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. This is my understanding of the most up-to-date information that we have on the shooter. Let's see. Here's a known timeline of the shooter's politics. In January 2021, he donates to a progressive PAC. All right. January 2021, the guy is 17? 16, still in high school. Donates to a progressive PAC, donates $15. Doesn't say much else about that at all. There doesn't seem to be any more information on that. Next, in October 2021, by the end of the year, he registers as a Republican. Past that point, November 2022, he votes as a Republican. And here is July 2024. He dies wearing a right-wing gun YouTuber shirt. So that is everything that we know about this. The New York Times, I believe, identified everything. Oh, the FBI also identified Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the subject involved in the assassination attempt. We should really count our blessings, okay, that the shooter happened to not be any level of melanated, because this would be a much different story. This would be a total fucking shit show, if not for that. The good news is that the numbers were on our side. Historically speaking, generally it is people of a certain color that tend to do these type of shootings. Shootings at mass rallies or at malls or whatever tend to be of the paler complexion. So statistically, it was likely that he would be another white guy, but I count my fucking blessings that it was not anything or anyone else, because, oh my God, the Fox News reporting, God forbid it was someone that was brown, you would see insane. The amount of posts we would be seeing right now about how we need to improve border control and the number of like ICE agents that would be breaking down people's doors right now, it would not have been good. Okay. It would not have been good. Like if you were, God forbid, even a little too tan, you just looked a little Mexican, you would be out of this country by now. And again, huge shout out. I mean, Black Americans don't commit these type of crimes. They just don't. They just want to fucking, they're more likely to get arrested for smoking weed. Okay. A totally acceptable action that is not in any way morally reprehensible. Okay. Realistically, if you're a Black American, you're way more likely to get thrown in jail for speeding and having an overzealous cop stop you, or having 2 ounces of fucking weed on you. So again, thank fucking God. Let's count our blessings. That it was someone that was white. Okay. Because
at Denims, I changed my mind. America doesn't need gun control.
Watch your chat messages, dog. Watch your chat messages. Okay, Twitch will ban you. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you, Twitch will put you in gay jail. They will put you in there for months at a time. Okay. Apparently he had explosives in his car. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. I mean, here's the thing, right, guys? We'll get into mental illness and how that impacts these sort of crimes. Because I don't want to see people saying, oh, he was mentally ill. Oh, it was a lone wolf action. Because that's the shit that they pull during every fucking school shooting. But I do think that there is a nuanced conversation that can be had about mental illness. Matt from Demolition Ranch is not some crazy right-winger who does good for animals because he's veterinarian. Oh, I mean, I don't follow his channel. I'm just reporting on what I've seen online, okay? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the Demolition Ranch guy. But you have to understand that if you're buying merch from like a gun guy, you usually end up being more of a certain political affiliation, usually. To be clear, I don't believe that Demolition Ranch, the YouTuber, has anything to do with this, or that, he endorsed any of this violence or encouraged any violence. I'm not attempting to put any blame on this YouTuber. I assume he just runs a gun channel where he shoots stuff, and that's it. I don't think that he's at fault at all, just to be very clear. Demo's already had to move. Different bros been going through his shit lately. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then just to be clear, this video that was posted, this is a troll post. This video is not real. Okay? This video is not real. Unsurprising that this would happen. I do have to give a quick honorable mention, okay? Rogan is definitely, if she wasn't already on a billion lists, tweeting out, I saw a dead pigeon outside of my apartment. I think this is an omen at 3:01 p.m. PST, followed by uh-oh at 3:30 p.m. PST. Frogan. Frogan. You got to be careful out there, Frogan. You got to be careful out there. I must say, it is absolutely crazy how amazing technology is nowadays, that people have phones that are this amazing that they can capture this. I'm pretty sure this was taken with a phone, where you can see what we believe right now to be the bullet moments before, like millisecond before. Oh, it was actually a professional camera? Oh, it was a professional? There's no way. I'm not convinced that that's real. I don't think it's a real photo. Surely we would need a DSLR photo. I mean, it depends on how far they were. Okay. The facts of everything is constantly changing, and we're getting a better understanding of everything. So, yeah. It looks like the glass theory was debunked since the time of posting. But, yeah. The projectile looks way too low. Not necessarily. The angle that it's at is impacting. You can see that it's at a lower angle. But, yeah. Still, the fact that phones are widely available gives us every conceivable angle at this event. I mean, the amount of 9/11 footage that we have compared to the amount of footage we have of this event is insane. It's actually insane. Shutter speed on news camera crews is typically not high enough to capture a moving bullet. You need a much higher frame rate. I honestly thought it was a setup at the time, but now I think it's real. I wasn't certain at the time, but I'm basically also physicist here. High shutter speed makes this a plausible photo, just incredibly lucky timing. Yeah. 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 Sorry, frame rate. Sorry. Shutter speed. Sorry. Gamer speak, my bad. In theory, a lucky photo could capture it. I mean, how many cameramen do you think were there? How many people do you think were there? How many people do you think are taking photos of him every second of every minute? It's real. I don't, if this is doctored, okay, they fucking got me then. Okay, I don't think so. I don't believe it. Sometimes people just get lucky. A dozen at least 3. Can you name some? Don't play with me. High shutter speed camera easily captures this. Chat, what do you want? Yeah. Yeah. Moving forward. Moving forward. Moving forward, however, huge shout out to fucking New York Times for actually reporting on it in a responsible manner and letting everyone know that the shooter was white. Because again, I think the worst thing that the worst outcome of this could have been a non-white shooter. And poor reporting on the case. And he was literally just talking about immigration. Oh yeah, no, it would have been terrible to be talking about immigration and then get shot at. Yeah. I have to say again, another person. Oh, it's okay. It's fabricated post. I can't believe I fell for a fabricated post. Feels bad, man. Community noted. It's not real. Winged Appellation, thank you for the 25 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, man, my Twitter feed does not look great, I will tell you. I'm like looking through to see some of the posts that I wanted to show you guys, right? Me when the doctor asks where I've been shot. Very good post. Excellent post. Really good. It's a really good post from Connor. I knew Biden was determined to stay in power. I didn't think he'd stoop down to having his own vice president shot. Another amazing post. Just incredible Sean tweet. You know, I posted about it as well. And then I'm like looking, I'm like trying to find some of the video footage, which I finally found. And you know, the post the post right before me posting about the Trump shooting is this. Man, my feed is not pure. My Twitter is not pure. It is not for all eyes. It's a obviously doctored post from Joe Biden's Instagram story that says, election is canceled. I need some time to relax and bounce on dick. I'll release new politics when I feel like it. I am so unserious. I am so unserious. Holy moly, Jesus Christ. Oh my. That isn't Dr. Denim. No community note. Must be real. Yeah. I heard that yesterday was just another day of your typical right-wing shit. Just white on white violence. Yeah, precisely. This is another good one. Yeah. We all know who saved Trump. I can't believe he fucking matrixed that shit, by the way. It was inches off from hitting him and like causing either permanent brain damage or killing him. Like he makes one head turn that saved his life. Here I'll show you guys the video footage again for anyone who missed it. Oh, and also a content warning. I'm not going to show it on stream, obviously. Content warning scrolling on Twitter because they kept a lot of people have been posting photos of the civilian who was shot. I believe gore, whatever. Again, obviously, I'm not gonna show it on stream because it's against terms of service. But just like for anyone else here who uses Twitter or Instagram or any other social media platform, please content warning because if that stuff is you're sensitive to that type of information and those type of photos, please be careful because there's a lot of just straight up like gore posting online. And with no content warning, by the way, like nothing, like no blur, no censoring, nothing. So yeah, please be careful when you scroll on Twitter. If that type of stuff impacts you, don't go on Twitter for a little bit, because for some reason Twitter is not scanning these photos and putting content warnings over them and blurring them. Yeah. A lot of rage baiting and rage farming. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see here. It looks like this is just coming out right now. We're hearing from the first classmate of Thomas Crooks. Also, what an unfortunate last name, Crooks. This is almost as bad as Anthony Weiner, who was sending people pictures of his wiener. His Bethel Park classmate described him as a loner who was bullied relentlessly and wore hunting outfits often in class. These photos show the gunman in a classroom in high school and on the school bus provided to me from the classmate. In my previous tweet, these photos are from 2022 and pre-2022 at Bethel Park High School. Yeah. So I wanted to get back into some of the reporting. I wanted to see
of that.
The sad, horrific reality, right?
Here we go. Here are some of the interviews.
News correspondent assassination. I know you're busy.
There's we're bullied almost every.
Listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that, and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever, so it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
And this was high school?
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
That's what he was saying. He said that he was actually in the class before or behind the suspected shooter here, and we have some movement.
Who the fuck is honking, dude? Hey, what's the big idea? No, I don't watch the news or go on social media. I'm trying to get to my block. What now? What just happened? You're joking.
Movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn, excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're still learning a lot more. We can tell you investigators continue to go in and out of the scene here. We know multiple agencies are here, not just local police, but the county bomb squad. As I mentioned last night, I saw the ATF here. It's a calm scene. It's not completely evacuated. Many residents are still in their homes behind here, but you can tell this is definitely a focal point of this investigation as we learn more about this suspected shooter who, again, from what we know and from public records, does not have a criminal history, not a large social media presence. So there's a lot more information that folks are looking to learn, Tom.
Yeah, you know, Shaq, we've learned a lot about the alleged shooter over the past couple of hours, right? We've seen 2 new photos.
It's weird that they keep saying that he doesn't have a huge social media presence when in reality, the vast majority of people who go on the internet never post anything. The internet is predominantly comprised of lurkers. And the internet is predominantly comprised of people who watch videos, do not comment, do not like, do not subscribe, watch streams, don't even make an account. Like, you can be terminally online and never actually do any posting. Long before I decided to create like actual content accounts and do this, whatever the fuck this job is, I was very online. I was very online, and I just didn't post anything. I just liked a lot of posts, and I watched a lot of videos, and that's it. You can be totally anonymous as well. It's like all over 4chan. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Have you seen the BlackRock video with the shooter in it? No, I haven't. Lurker checking in. Lurkers checking in. To be fair, a lot of kids like this find communities online because they have nothing in person. Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of factors on why people like this end up being on the internet more often than not. Okay. There's a lot of reasons why. And one of them is definitely, you fail in the real world. Speaking from personal experience, okay. As someone who got bullied a lot and struggled with making real friends in the real world. And the internet is like, it's like a safe place. You can have as many social interactions as you want with zero consequences, basically. Right? He had a Discord. People are trying to find mutuals so that they can see if they can get logs. Interesting. People think that they can be anonymous online or so not informed about government's capabilities. I mean, no, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about at all. That's totally irrelevant from what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that mainstream media is saying that he had no social media presence, but having a social media presence isn't relevant. The conversation should be about how much time you've spent online, not on how big of a social media presence you had. He was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, which is a massive gun YouTuber, so he had some. Yeah, my understanding is that photo is real. Yeah. Bro, you got bullied? Real. I did get bullied, yes. I did not. I was not a hit with the kids in my class, we'll say. All right?
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors.
This is a BlackRock video that happens to feature this guy. Oh, here he is. Oh my. I'm gonna get my other mouse. I don't know why this mouse cuts out when we're doing politics streams. 1 second.
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
That video didn't sound like it aged well. Can we go back? Can we run it back?
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
BlackRock helps manage pension plan assets that cover roughly half of U.S. public school teachers.
I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
Ooh.
To come to school and gave.
Oh, man.
I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to.
Yeah. This penmanship is crazy, though. I gotta say, though, actually, totally irrelevant, but the way he's gripping that fucking marker, that shit is something else. Holy Christ. Let go. Let go. Chill. Damn. No need to grip that hard. Holy.
this place a special place to
God damn. Jesus. Yeah, this is the guy.
come to school.
And there's a shot of him at the very beginning of the ad as well. What are the chances, man? What are the fucking chances? How do people find this stuff? I mean, I assume it was someone that was at the school that had the BlackRock people come and take video footage that found the video online and pushed it, right? If any one of the kids in this class knew that this video existed, which obviously all of them do, and knew where to find it, why wouldn't they? It also, like, literally references their high school. Yeah. All right, let's head back to the video.
Of him, right? I'm going to ask our director to put those up. We have the photo that we've obtained from our law enforcement sources. We also have a high school photo. And again, you hear about that description that he was constantly bullied, right? That he was a loner in high school. And a lot of times when we do these stories about these lone gunmen, they do fit a similar pattern, right? And sometimes it does involve bullying. So that part isn't surprising. We know at one point he was a registered Republican, but he also made a $15 donation to a left-leaning group called Progressive Turnout Project in 2021. And Jack, we've also learned about the gun, right? I know our law enforcement sources have been telling us that the gun was actually purchased legally by his father. What else do we know about the weapon?
Right. Yeah, we know that it's a semi-automatic weapon that was used there. We don't know the particular details of that gun, but that's something that you have investigators certainly looking into. You know, you mentioned this profile that we have learned and that we're starting to hear about.
Earth Baby, thank you for the Prime. No fucking way. Are you serious? Forbes tried to push a narrative off this. Will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? Forbes apparently removed the entire article, so I'm going to post it here. You gotta love the description for the writer/contributor of this article. I am a diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, expert. Really, how are we defining expert? I guess I'm also a plumbing expert. I'm also a electrician expert. I'm actually many experts. I'm expert. If this is how we're defining the word expert, man, wow. Jesus fuck. Let's see the article, the now deleted article trying to create a narrative about appealing to black voters. Jesus. Hello, I'm a DEI expert, or as they used to call me, a professional racist. Meek, thank you for the 12 months. Shots were fired at a Trump campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president narrowly escaped. He emerged bloody, but fortunately not critically injured. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during his heinous act. Spokesperson Stephen Cheng said in a statement, he's fine. He's being checked out at a local medical facility. Tragically, one attendee is dead, and at this time, another is in serious condition. The suspected shooter is also dead. Will Trump sees the apparent assassination attempt against him as an opportunity to meaningfully address the epidemic of gun violence in America? Will he deem unacceptable the dangers to which citizens are exposed to as they go to school, places of religious worship, concerts, movie theaters, supermarkets, shopping malls, sporting events, and now presidential campaign rallies? It's possible, but unlikely. Quote, and the blacks, they love me because they know the terrifying sound of gunshots isn't a claim that Trump has actually made, and hopefully he doesn't, but it isn't all unthinkable. That is a crazy sentence to write. Why would you write a quote like this and then say, here's a quote I made up? And aren't we lucky that Trump didn't say it? The presumptive Republican presidential nominee has repeatedly contended that the August 2023 release of his criminal mugshot deeply resonated with black voters because they know firsthand the unfairness of our nation's criminal justice system. He has since relied on that narrative to persuade more black Americans to cast votes for him this November. More black men now than 4 years ago say they're voting for Trump this time, but not many of them say they're planning to do so because of any notion of shared kinship with judicial injustice. Yeah. Immediately after shots were fired, Trump fell and Secret Service agents rushed to his side. He was down just over 1 minute as the agents lifted him and he stood again. Trump looked into the crowd and raised his fist. After winning gold and bronze medals for their spectacular performance in the men's 200-meter race in the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City, American track athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised gloved fists as they stood on the podium. The two black men were protesting racial injustice in their home country as the Star-Spangled Banner began to play. The photograph of what has since become known as the Black Power salute remains one of the most iconic images in global sports history. Trump could claim that his raised fist was a homage to the courage of Smith and Carlos, who emerged victoriously after overcoming considerable odds. Amazing. Really amazing stuff from Forbes here. Really amazing stuff from Forbes here. In June 2020, many black Americans and supporters from other racial groups marched to cities all across the nation with their fists raised. They were protesting Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's murder of George Floyd, an unarmed black man. Many outraged citizens peacefully marched outside the White House. The then President Trump weaponized the National Guard and law enforcement against them. But now, just over 4 years later, there's a chance that his raised fist at the Pennsylvania rally could become erroneously connected to black people who were marching with fists raised in rallies in summer 2020 and at other moments in American history. Let's hope not. That would be revisionist history. So, like, who the fuck wrote this, dude? What the fuck? I don't think anyone tied Trump doing this to black power. I don't think so. I don't think that was a thought that anyone ever had. Sean Harper, huh? Incredible stuff, Sean Harper. Incredible stuff. Really, really amazing stuff. Really great stuff, dude. Jesus. Okay, let's see. Another racially problematic kinship narrative is unlikely to make black voters see Trump as one of them. Incredible. Incredible. Really amazing stuff. Business major. Dude, business majors are the fakest majors out there. Like, literally the fakest majors. Also, I'm getting word that the guy from, the guy that was, the YouTuber whose merch was being worn by the shooter has this post on their feed, on their Twitter. Is this a real post? Can I get a confirmation of this? Someone found old World War II pics of two dudes that look just like Donut Operator and me. Those are literally photos of them. That's AI, no. It's AI, but the post is real. So the YouTuber got AI photos of himself to dress up as Nazis and then post it online? Those don't look World War II era, that's for sure. There's too much detail, and like you can see like the smoothness in some of these photos that makes me think it's AI. It's from a video they did. Just a bad filter. Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. I wonder if he's tweeted anything recently. No, it doesn't look like it. The only thing he's tweeted was him saying, last night was crazy. I've got news stations calling, asking me if I ever spoke with the shooter. What the hell? Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, for anyone who missed it, the shooter was wearing merch from this guy's channel. It's just like a gun channel. I used to watch a channel years ago. The dude is a veterinarian, by the way. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying this guy is or isn't a good person. I don't know anything about him, but being a veterinarian doesn't make you a good person, right? You could be vegan and be a terrible person. Like, I don't... Your relationship to animals does not impact your relationship to human beings. He's a normal gun YouTuber, thin blue line kind of dude, but nothing crazy. Okay. I think comparing yourself to like an image of a Nazi is crazy. Whether that's like a cosplay with like a filter on it, or if it's AI, or if it's a photo of somebody else, that like making that comparison in a pleasant way is crazy. Normal reactionary shit nowadays, yeah. All right.
Right now, it's a profile that we've unfortunately become accustomed to hearing. The idea that someone's being bullied, that they're a loner, of course, doesn't justify any of the activity. And that was a point that you had this classmate or this school make in the conversations that we had. But it's notable and it's striking, and definitely something that we know investigators will be listening for and looking into. I also will say that we did hear from the high school. We saw some video of this suspected shooter at his graduation. He was part of the class of 2022. We heard from the school district. They, of course, offered their thoughts and prayers for the families involved, but they also said that they're cooperating with this investigation fully. They're cooperating with members of law enforcement. If what we heard from this person who said he was a schoolmate of the suspect is accurate, that's definitely information that you might have school officials knowing about, teachers, superintendents, principals may be knowing about. So you can expect that to be looped into this overall conversation. You get the sense that it's still early. That's something that a member of the bomb squad told me last night, that this investigation is in its infancy, was his words. But you're getting the sense that they're starting to learn a little bit more, as we are, and as more people continue to talk and share their perspective and share what they know about this 20-year-old suspected shooter.
Yeah, and Shaq, we've also learned, right, from those eyewitnesses who said they saw him get up on the roof and then sort of bear crawl. The wardrobe he had, right, what he was wearing at the time, it seemed to be, if you will, and I don't know exactly because the image is hard to see. It almost looks like camouflage maybe, and then he was also wearing a gray T-shirt. Yeah. But our Courtney Hubie has reported that even though he was doing the bear crawl, even though he had that AR-15 style rifle and he was pointed at the president, and he got incredibly close, within an inch, he apparently had no military training. That's correct, Shaq?
It was such a calm Eldon ring stream yesterday, and nothing crazy happened.
Yeah. The street that the shooter lives on is less than 5 minutes away from my house. Jesus.
That's still, I'm not aware of those reports of what Courtney was reporting there, and that's something that will certainly be looked into. I can tell you that based on people who know him or at least familiar with him, one open question is whether or not he was on the competitive rifle team at that high school. Now, the person who you just heard from, he said he didn't know his brother was actually on the rifle team, so he was calling to see if he knew that or knew any connection there. But that is definitely something that among his classmates, among people who went to that school, that's a conversation that is being had. Again, a lot of this just needs to be confirmed, and that's something that law enforcement will be asking about. The school district, as I mentioned, they said they're going to be following up, that they're going to be in constant communication with members of law enforcement, but that definitely will be looked into, and if that is the case, it definitely sheds some more light on how he was able to do this, how he was able to get on that roof, how he was able to bear crawl and get a shot off or get multiple shots off at the former president. Again, this is the early part of the investigation, but
I have to say, though, this is like an iconic tweet. Joe needs to upstage him. He's got to come out as bisexual. Like Joe's PR team, they need to throw everything they've got right now, because Trump, he's, in the eyes of conservatives right now, he is their god. In the eyes of MAGA, they're going to sit here and look at this as, wow, this is how dangerous Trump's ideas are. This is how badly they want to silence Trump and silence real democracy. They're afraid of us, which is going to drive people to the polls, right? Like, Joe needs to do something crazy. Joe needs to fucking bust it open on OnlyFans or something, show dick and balls and hole or something, like upstage Nancy Reagan, his throat go. I don't know, but his PR team needs to fucking do something, because he's not winning this race, just continuing on this old senile path. I'm right. I'm literally right. You guys can disagree with me right now, but I'm correct, okay? He's got to be hung like Hunter to win. Like, straight up, 100%. 100%.
there's a lot of questions that folks have, and it seems as if law enforcement is starting to get a little bit more information.
Yeah, and just to be completely clear, our reporting by NBC News, he never served in the military. There's no military background in his file so far, whether he received any type of shooting, any type of marksmanship training. We still are going to be investigating that. Shaq, we want to thank you for all your great reporting. I'm going to send it back to you, Kate, in New York.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. And we'll continue our coverage, noting that 6 previous presidents have also had assassination attempts, either while they were in office or as they were out on the campaign trail. So this morning, we want to see how those events impacted the nation and what we could learn from history as we sit here today.
Gato, thank you for the gift sub. Previous presidential assassination attempts. Incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing list of presidents.
Processing what happened last night, I want to bring in NBC News presidential historian Michael Beschloss once again. Michael, good to see you. Put this in perspective for us first. What impact does this moment that we're living through have on the nation? What might it mean culturally for us as we move forward?
Well, the biggest challenge we've got is that this is happening right in the middle of one of the most intense presidential campaigns in American history. And I keep on thinking of John Kennedy. The last day of his life was killed in 1963, too soon to go to a dinner in Texas that evening. And he was going to say on the eve of the 1964 campaign, let's have a campaign in which he said, neither the faint-hearted or the fanatics are needed. And what he meant by that was a campaign, and he was going to run against conservative Barry Goldwater. It was going to be strenuous and intense, and that's the way we Americans get the best presidents. But he said, let's do it in a civilized way. No insults, arguments between us that are based on facts, not exaggerations, and obviously a campaign without violence. If you can believe it, Kate, this is 1963. Kennedy at that time was talking to his probable opponent, Goldwater, about possibly both of them riding on Air Force One and having replicas of the Lincoln-Douglas debates between them in various cities. That's not going to happen in 2024, but let's use this occasion to keep the temperature down.
Michael, real quick, they say journalism is just the first draft, the rough draft of history. So give us your crystal ball. How will this period be remembered? When
we go through a traumatic event like this, there's no doubt this is going to change American history. What we do not know is how. And that's a case where historians 30 years later, with information that we don't have, will make a judgment. It's like what Harry Truman said. He said, any schoolboy history student can do better with a problem than a president who's dealing with it at the time.
Yeah, Michael Beschloss, always good to have you with your perspective. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Tom, let me send it back to you for a final thought.
Yeah, we're going to continue to cover this story, right, Kate? There's still so much we don't know. What motivated that young man to come here at a Trump rally and try to assassinate the former president, right, the former leader of the free world? On top of that, right, the other big question, how could someone like that, someone who we've just confirmed never served in the military, somehow figure out how to...
So,
You know, it's a very,
oh my
very
Lord.
act of
Lindsey Graham,
political
I'm sure
violence. How
there's
will
going to be some groundbreaking information here. Let's hear it.
this impact the campaign more broadly?
You know, it's a very, very hard to say. I think President Trump, I'll talk to him later in the day, is determined to stay on schedule. He needs to pick a vice president. You know, today underscores why that's an important pick. He wants somebody that is ready on day one and can help him win, that can grow the map. I think the Republican base adores President Trump. There's going to be a lot of love come his way. But I'm glad to see my Democratic colleagues are saying really good things. And, you know, this is a moment where America's been traumatized, and it's good to see. I'm glad President Biden called him. There'll be plenty of time to talk about politics, but today we just all need to be grateful and mindful of how dangerous, how could this happen? How could somebody get within 130 yards of the president with a rifle? His Secret Service team around him, his personal team, are the great Americans who are very brave. But what I thought of when he got up and raised his fist and bleeding was Teddy Roosevelt. This is the toughest guy I think I ever met. He's the modern version of Teddy Roosevelt, and it's just an amazing thing to be his friend and in his orbit, and I look forward to seeing him here soon.
Well, Senator Lindsey Graham, we really appreciate your joining us. Again, our thoughts
fucking doing tricks on it, man.
Are with everyone who was injured, and as you so rightfully and importantly point out, the life that was lost yesterday that we mourn as a nation for. So thank you for all of your comments this morning. We appreciate it. When we come back, I will speak with Independent Senator Bernie Sanders and Biden campaign co-chair Senator Chris Coons. Stay with us.
I think it's worthwhile to look at the Trump social tweets, posts. Sorry. Man, if you needed evidence that Trump is not... Everyone makes fun of Biden for being senile as fuck, but you have to understand Trump is also very senile. He just has better stage presence. Sorry, here's his truth. Retruths, excuse me. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. The random capitalization is just incredible. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong. In that, I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place. So I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Wow. The best words. A lot of people are saying that these are some of the best words I've ever seen. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday, as it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not. I'm sorry, I have to say, this rhetoric that God is the one who saved him, man, I love the universe that like conservatives live in, where like God saves Donald Trump, but not the hundreds of children that have died in school shootings. God is like, kids? I don't give a shit about kids. Trump? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, let me stop this bullet for you really quickly. That is crazy. Biden press conference at 1:30 EST, FYI. 10, 11, 12. So in an hour. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. The random capitalization really gets me, like faith, defiant, wickedness. Why? I don't know. Our love goes out to the other families and their families, or sorry, other victims and their families. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded and hold in our hearts the memory of the citizen who was so horribly killed. In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country and love you all, and look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin. Prayer emoji, and it's signed off DJT. Incredible. Wow. Why did he capitalize evil and win? I mean, I don't know. He capitalized united and show our true character as Americans, remain strong and determined, not allowing evil to win. Why? I don't, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, even worse than this is like all of the conservatives that are going to be pulling this shit. Blair White tweets out, Donald Trump took a bullet for this country. If you're voting for anyone else, you can go fuck yourself. That's where I'm at. It is unironically a miracle that none of the fucking stupid ass parents that brought their kids to this rally, none of those kids died. Because genuinely, man. Man. Elon endorsed Trump right after he got shot. I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. Suck my dick, Elon Musk.
System that guarantees health care to all.
Oh, Bernie has things to say. Hold up.
Moment.
House is no longer here, but we are here.
Now is real.
Let's break down what we know and then the big questions still outstanding.
News for the generation of now is NBC News Now.
The paper towel will absorb the acid.
That's crazy.
Green tea to calm acne. This is my favorite tip of the day.
Brilliant. Can I went too far back. Sorry.
Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont joins me now. Senator Sanders, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here on this somber Sunday. Senator, I'm wondering if you can give us your reaction to the events that unfolded in Pennsylvania.
What are you, happy? Shouldn't you be happy he survived? What the fuck?
Pennsylvania yesterday, and what you think needs to happen in this country to prevent this
FBI?
Horrific, completely unacceptable act of political violence from ever happening again.
Well, Kristen, thanks very much for allowing me to be with you today. For a start, I think everybody in this country, no matter what their political views are, wishes former President Trump a rapid and speedy recovery, mourns the loss of innocent lives and those who are wounded, and understands that political violence of any kind or shape or form is unacceptable. It is.
Can I say something one thing that boggles my mind really like hardcore? Conservatives are the first people to say we need guns. If you ever suggest to a conservative that we should have gun control, they're the first people to say we need guns lest the government try and have overarching power. And they are also the first to say, how could anyone ever do this? Political violence of all kind is unacceptable. It's like, wait, you guys are the ones that are telling us we can't have gun control because we need our guns to overthrow the government. I don't understand what your position is. So do you guys think we should use them to overthrow the government, or do you think that we shouldn't? I just want to get the story straight. So can we get gun control now? Can we finally have gun control now, since we think all political violence is... Because that's what I want. I just want gun control. Oh, man. This is always like the funniest argument every time. Every time that I see this. This is always the funniest argument. Banning guns didn't help Shinzo Abe. Oh my God, that's such a good point. Really quick. How much gun violence has occurred in Japan? Gun deaths, mass shooting. Japan. Quick. Over the past decade, it would appear there was a total of, let's see here, less than 100. Oh, this is reported incidents related to firing of firearms. This isn't even deaths, actually. Oh my. Maybe Wikipedia has better stats that aren't fucking paywalled. Okay, it's looking like mass shootings in Japan, since 1975, there were 6 of them. Okay, I wonder how many mass shootings there were in America since 1975. Okay, let's take a look-see here. Okay. These are, here we go, deadliest mass shootings since 1949. The following mass shootings are the deadliest to have occurred. Let's see, list of mass shootings. And then here are the list of mass shootings. So for a more comprehensive list, click this. Here we go. Oh, this is all from this year. Okay. Oh, those were only for this year. 2024 mass shootings. Let's see, January had 47, February had 36, March had 44, April had 45, May had 53, and June had 77 mass shootings. But you know, the thing is, Shinzo Abe died in Japan, so gun control doesn't work. See, the number will never be 0, so we shouldn't even bother trying. But obviously, gun control doesn't work. You see here, there were 6 total mass shootings in Japan since 1975. And the US has had, in the past 6 months, the total of these numbers. So what is this, like 120, 160, 200, almost 300 mass shootings in 6 months. Just in 6 months compared to 6 in 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The guy literally had to make his own gun. I absolutely love when people bring up Shinzo Abe and they're like, see, this is proof that gun control doesn't work. It's like, one guy had to make his own gun and that's proof? Okay. What? Okay. Interesting. All right. Cool. The mental gymnastics are just so fucking crazy, dude. He had to make his own gun. He had to run up to the guy like point blank to kill him. It's not a very good gun by modern standards. LMAO. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Literally every U.S. president that has been shot, except Kennedy, was a Republican, and Shinzo Abe was a conservative, starting to think conservatism is bad for one's health. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure also that in that instance, it was a security failure. I mean, multiple things can cause someone to die from a bullet, bro. Now look up suicide by gun. Suicide by gun is the best stat, I guess, for why we should have gun control, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Un-American, and we've got to put an end to it. I think in this traumatic moment, it's time for all of us to take a deep breath, remember what this country is about and what political campaigns are about. And they're about serious discussions of serious ideas as to how we address these serious problems facing this country. So let's use this moment, if there's any silver lining in this tragedy, it's to figure out how we go forward peacefully, constructively, and intelligently.
Absolutely, Senator. And you obviously have been impacted by political violence yourself in 2017. That horrible moment when Republican Congressman Steve Scalise was shot at baseball practice. You came out and forcefully denounced what had happened upon learning that the suspected shooter had been a volunteer for your campaign. How does that experience inform how you think the country can move forward right now?
Well, let me also say that a couple of months ago, my office right here in Burlington, Vermont, with 7, I was not there at the moment, but there were 7 staff members there. I was almost burned down by somebody who's in jail right now. 7 people could have been burned alive. So yeah, I am familiar with political violence in all its forms. The bottom line is what we need as a nation, what a democracy is about, is not radical rhetoric. What it is about is a serious discussion of where we are as a nation and how we go forward. You know, in a certain way, Kristen, politics should be kind of boring. You know, our healthcare system is dysfunctional. How do we fix it? Well, it's kind of a boring discussion, but we need a healthcare system that guarantees healthcare to all people. We have massive income and wealth inequality. Well, maybe a boring discussion. Should 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society? So I think what we have got to see is serious discussion of serious issues and not this kind of harsh rhetoric that we have heard for the last number of years.
Senator, you know, before all of this had happened, I invited you to come on to talk about your op-ed, your perspective on the 2024 campaign. Obviously, there has been a lot of discussion about whether President Biden should pass the torch, whether he should be the standard bearer. In your op-ed, you say enough of all of that discussion. You say it's time to put the divisions, quite frankly, to rest about whether President Biden should be the nominee. I wonder if you think this moment will impact that debate, and if so, how?
No, I don't. Look, I don't. I mean, I think President Biden is the strongest candidate the Democrats have.
Oh, my fucking God.
I think he has a very, very effective record that he can run on. We are finally lowering the cost of prescription drugs. We are rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure. Finally, we're beginning to deal with the existential threat of climate change. We're trying to do our best to protect a woman's right to control her own body. It's a strong record. But what I have been critical of, and I'm seeing good things, I thought President Biden's speech on Friday night was really good. And I think he talked about what he wants to do with a Democratic Congress in the first 100 days of his administration. And, you know, when he talks about expanding Social Security, Kristen, you know, we have half of our seniors in this country are living on less than $30,000 a year. We got to improve benefits, and we do that by lifting the cap. You got millions of seniors who can't afford to go to a dentist. We have to expand Medicare to include dental, hearing, envision. Workers who want to join a union, unable to do that. We have to pass the PRO Act. We have to raise this minimum wage, which is now $7.25 an hour, to a living wage. That's what he talked about. And I think if he continues to talk about that, I think he gets reelected.
All right, Senator Sanders, you said something significant today, that our politics, is your hope, should be boring again. Here's to that happening. I think everyone, no matter what their political perspectives, can agree to that this morning.
Right.
Senator Sanders, thank you very much for your perspective. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I now want to bring in Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware, a Biden campaign co-chair. Senator Coons, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Kristen. It's good to be on with you on this somber morning.
It is really great to have your perspective on this morning, even though it is difficult for everyone across this country. And I do want to start there. We heard that forceful, full-throated condemnation by President Biden about this political violence, saying it cannot be tolerated. This has to end. What do you think needs to happen moving forward, and how might this horrific moment impact the 2024 campaign?
Well, Kristen, there have been...
Mr. Glitchmaster, thank you for the 13 months. Mr. Bahati, thank you so much for the 6 months.
too many close calls in the time that I've been in Congress.
This is actually an insane last name. I every time I see it, I just lose my mind, dude.
As you referenced earlier, there was that tragic day when Steve Scalise was shot. My close friend, Jeff Flake, conservative Republican senator, came back to the Capitol. I'll never forget standing with him, praying with him as he was in his baseball uniform, spattered with the blood of Congressman Scalise. Congresswoman Giffords is and was a close friend and was shot in the head at a political event. And Speaker Pelosi's husband, Paul, was brutally beaten and hospitalized in an attempt at attacking her. And then last night's shocking event, by the grace of God, not a tragedy. We would be in a very different place this morning.
Sorry. That's just his name. Grow the F up. You're too scared to use the word fuck and you're telling me to grow up? Suck my dick.
If there'd been a different outcome. So first, President Biden did last night, as he so often does, the things that I most hope a president would do. He was at church. He was briefed. He called former President Trump to wish him a full and speedy recovery. He went on national television to denounce political violence and urge us to come together. He's pulled down campaign ads. And as you heard from Congressman Muser and from Senator Graham and Senator Sanders, all of us are reaching out to each other in Congress. As you know, I'm an active member of our senatorial prayer group that tries to not just lower the temperature, but to be role models to each other of how to respect each other as people, how to carry out the vision that President Biden shared in his inaugural address, that we would see each other not as enemies, but as political opponents with different values and views. And we would speak about each other and act towards each other in ways that are more respectful and more supportive. That's my prayer for our nation this morning, Kristen.
Senator Coons, as you know, the Republican National Convention gets underway on Monday. The Democratic National Convention gets underway in August. What concerns do you have, not only in terms of the rhetoric in this country, but from the security of both of those events as we prepare to head into this incredibly busy summer season?
Look, I am so grateful for the service of the state troopers and the Secret Service.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw that Ben Shapiro is live streaming right now. I have to see how they're reporting on shit like this. Way more interesting than
American politics. Thank God Donald Trump is all right. Our prayers go out to the families of the people who were killed and wounded at the rally. Again, there is a GoFundMe. Please give generously.
This is so bullshit. Ben doesn't even like Trump. Holy shit.
If you have the ability to do
cares
so.
A lot about no political violence existing in our country.
God save the United States of America. And remember, folks, your fellow Americans are not the enemy. Your fellow Americans are not the enemy. Stop labeling your fellow Americans a danger to the future of the republic sufficient that they must be eliminated from American life or we're not going to last as a country. And that's particularly directed at one political campaign right now and one side of the media infrastructure, which have been saying this trash.
Yeah, everybody knows that your channel is not divisive in the least, of course.
for years on end. All righty. We'll be back here tomorrow with much more. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Dude, this is really just like when the streamer ends stream right as you started tuning in. You did an hour live stream, fucking weak ass, beta ass bitch. You kidding me? What the fuck? Streamer, go live. Work your job. React harder.
I found an of the.
Sorry, skipping the.
Well, folks, obviously, this is a special broadcast of the show. We are doing this on Sunday. This is not normally a broadcast day, but yesterday marked one of the darkest incidents in modern American history, one of the darkest moments of my lifetime, when President Donald Trump was the victim of an assassination attempt. And only thanks to the absolute grace of God is Donald Trump still alive. I found about this on Shabbat. It was Shabbat over where I am in Los Angeles. I was here to do Bill Maher's show, and my security came and told me what was happening. Obviously, I was just as shocked and appalled as everyone else. And this is indeed the end result of a temperature in the United States that is absolutely appalling. This is an increase in rhetorical temperature pushed by the radical left, unfortunately, by the media, by the president of the United States.
Oh, suck my dick. The shooter was a Republican. He's voted Republican. Fuck you.
That has raised the temperature radically. Only the shooter is responsible for the shooting. But if you increase the temperature over and over and over again by saying that the former president of the United States, current frontrunner in the presidential race, major party nominee, is in fact Hitler, it is not particularly surprising. It is shocking, but it is not particularly surprising when someone goes and takes that seriously. We'll have more to say about who the shooter was in just one moment. First, for those who have not had all the details revealed to them as of yet, here was the timeline yesterday. So the shooting broke out, according to USA Today, just minutes before 6:15 p.m. in the city of Butler, which is about 35 miles north of Pittsburgh. President Trump, who has been doing rallies around the country over the past couple of weeks, was doing one in Pennsylvania, which of course is a battleground state. He took the stage at 6:03 p.m. Eastern time. At about 6:11 p.m., he was speaking, and all of a sudden, audible pops could be heard. Here is the footage of President Trump speaking. The footage is shocking. So if you haven't seen it, just be warned. It is footage of an assassination attempt. It's going to be some of the most iconic footage in American history. This whole incident is an astonishing incident. The hand of God, there's no way, honestly, I don't have another way to put this. The hand of God is protecting President Trump here because there is no way that he should survive what just happened here. The shooter was extremely close to President Trump. We'll talk about the Secret Service failures in just one moment, but the shooter was extremely close. He was on a very nearby building to President Trump.
It's such a load of horse crap because anyone who's heard Ben Shapiro talk in length about Trump, he doesn't like Trump. He thinks Trump is a clown. He thinks he's incompetent, and if he could, he would have someone who was a competent evil person in power. He only glazes Trump because he knows it's what the conservatives want, and he wants the MAGA viewers. I'm gonna be right back. Just give me 1 second, champ.
Making here one final shot there. The crowd obviously crouching, trying to see what's happening. President Trump is on the ground. The Secret Service are on top of him.
I stand by what I said. Okay. Oh, hi, Dizzied Up Girl. Trump supporters are some of the dumbest motherfuckers because how do you know that there's an active shooter and you're just chilling like there's no big deal? My ass would have been gone. That one gif of like the guy that's like, and then he like disappears. That would have been me. This is crazy that they're just sitting there like, what could it be? I wonder what's happening. The most NPC behavior you could ever see. Jesus Christ.
You can hear President Trump say, "Let me get my shoes." The crowd is obviously agitated. They're holding President Trump down to make sure that he's safe. Now they're going to start moving him.
Like a few of these people value their lives. Like the people over here that are like ducking. Oh, you can't see my mouse. On the right side of the screen, there's a few people that are like ducking and they're as far down as they can be. These people value their fucking lives. Everybody else just sitting there like nothing happened. Like fucking nothing happened. Holy shit.
Let me get my shoes.
President Trump gets up, as he does.
Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we gotta move to the car.
You hear him say, "Let me get my shoes."
Watch out.
The crowd starts cheering because they see that President Trump's alive. He has blood all over his face. He raised his fist.
I have to say, dude, Trump really has, in all of those years in TV, really fucking paid off. Because his content brain is stronger and more powerful than anyone else I've ever seen. The fact that he had the presence of mind, that he has that natural charisma that Biden lacks. Because in my opinion, Biden and Trump are basically at the same levels of like old age has ruined their brains. When Trump talks, half the shit he says doesn't even make any sense. Half the sentences he starts don't go anywhere. But man, he has a certain level of charisma and he has a certain level, Trump said no feet for free, stop. He has a certain level of charisma and stage presence that Biden just lacks completely. That he had the presence of mind. He has the it factor, literally. That he has the presence of mind to say, fight, yeah. That was his natural response is insane. It's crazy.
And he says, "Fight, fight, fight." The crowd starts cheering. And then they start chanting USA. He holds up his fist again to show everyone that he's okay. It's an amazing response by him, honestly. And most people would just be rushed off by Secret Service as fast as humanly possible. President Trump taking those extra few moments to assure the crowd that not only is he fine, but that he's not going to be cowed by this, is in fact an amazing personal response. And that can't be taught. I mean, that's an innate fight or flight response, and President Trump is...
No, it can be taught. You can learn how to handle stress. That's fucking stupid. What is military training if not learning how to be taught and learning how to deal with stress? That's fucking stupid. He learned it.
Is an innate fighter. He is not an innate flight response guy. He is then ushered into the Secret Service vehicle, and by 6:14 p.m., he is out of there. Now, it took the Secret Service a few minutes to figure out exactly what they're going to release to the public. The shooter is in fact dead. What you hear in that video is a few shots. You hear at least 3 shots from the shooter. Then you hear a couple of shots that are probably in response from the Secret Service snipers killing the shooter. And then a final shot, which very likely is Secret Service seeing movement of the shooter and shooting him once more. That's what that sort of sequence of shots probably is. The images are astonishing. I mean, just incredible images. This is a picture from the New York Times. You can actually see the pathway in the air of the bullet whizzing past President Trump as he speaks. This is before he realizes he's been hit, because obviously the bullet is traveling extremely fast. And so he would have heard the whiz past his ear, which, as we'll see, is what he said in his statement. The most iconic photo, though.
And another really good point. If you're under protective detail, you've rehearsed how something like this would go. Exactly. Precisely.
Is going to be this one. And this is going to be an all-time historic American photo. This is a shot of President Trump raising his fist as he's shouting fight, as you see in that video. And above him, the American flag is flying as Secret Service is crouched around him. It's an amazing photo. It truly is. People are talking about how this photographer should win a Pulitzer. There's video of the photographer getting this shot. It's unbelievable. Everybody else is crouching. The photographer immediately jumps into the fray, finds the perfect shot and framing, and takes that shot. And it is iconic because, again, it speaks to who President Trump is, which is a person who is not going to be cowed. Say what you will about President Trump. President Trump is indefatigable. There's just no question.
That's what using your powers for evil looks like, by the way. Being that incredible of like a photographer and taking that photo, that's using your powers for evil.
About it. This is a person who has been hit with every lie it is possible to hit him with. From Russia collusion to impeachment twice. He was then prosecuted politically
I have a blue Anon dad that thinks that the bullet photo isn't real. That is insane.
In 4 separate jurisdictions, he's been hit with nonsense legal suits that have cost him tens of, not hundreds of millions of dollars. They're literally trying to put him in jail for a nonsense crime. And then someone tries to shoot him. And his response is that photo. It's an amazing thing. Later in the evening, President Trump got off the plane in New Jersey. Thank God. He is totally physically fine. Here's footage of the President of the United States disembarking in New Jersey late last night. There he is coming down the stairs of his Trump airplane. Now, there will be and there should
Trump
be.
is going to make so much off that photo for merch. Guys, you don't know how strong my desire is to like open up an Etsy shop and just fill it with merch of that photo and like donate all the proceeds to like something useful.
A rally around Trump effect. Elon Musk came out yesterday and endorsed President Trump for the presidency. A lot of people who are shy Trumpers are now not going to be very shy about their support for President Trump. Why? The reason is because, again, Donald Trump has withstood everything that his opposition can throw at him, from legal opposition to actual assassination attempts. And Donald Trump...
The shooter was a Republican.
Keeps moving forward. He keeps moving forward. Politico has an entire piece acknowledging this. This is Jonathan Martin. Trump's raised fist will make history and define his candidacy. And there's one other thing here. I mentioned it right at the top. The attempted assassination is one of the most predictable things to happen in American public life in my lifetime. It is simultaneously one of the most shocking and one of the most predictable. Shocking, but not surprising. Why? Because the temperature has been turned up so high for so long. His political opponents have defined him as literally Hitler. And when you keep saying your political opposition is literally Hitler, who is going to take America into a new dark age, when you say that over and over and over again, you are turning up the temperature. You're turning it up. It's how you get congressional baseball shootings. And it's how you get attempted assassination attempts on Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And it's how you get what happened yesterday in Butler, Pennsylvania. Again, the only person who is responsible for the actual attempted shooting is the shooter. With that said, when you keep turning up the temperature, when you keep saying that America is going to be literally destroyed, this will be the last election, Donald Trump is the worst person who has ever lived and he must be stopped. Someone is going to take that seriously and think to themselves, shouldn't I do something to stop Hitler? Shouldn't I? So, is there a measure of responsibility borne by people who say things like that over and over and over repeatedly, never stopping, consistently, every day for years on end? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do we know about the shooter at this time?
This is such a gross misrepresentation of what causes people to engage in a lack of self-preservation. Innate in every one of us is a strong desire to self-preserve beyond anything else, sometimes overcome by a desire to preserve the lives of others that we care about.
Trump got shot and Biden still might die first. Shit's over.
You will do quite a lot, okay, to protect yourself and protect the people around you. A lot. All right? You only engage in very negative behavior, very detrimental, self-detrimental behavior if you are mentally ill. And something in your life has gone terribly wrong. No one is going to convince a sane person to go and ruin the rest of their life and get themselves killed. You can't do it. It's not possible. You can't. A sane person cares too much about self-preservation. And maybe you can convince them to get almost there. You can't get them to do it. You know that that guy knew by doing that, he forfeited his life. And you only get to that point to forfeit your life if you feel that there's nothing worth living for and you're mentally ill. This idea that you can convince someone to go do it is it's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Also, he's 20. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Does this apply to Aaron Bushnell? I mean, of course, right? It's just that he believed that he was dying for a good cause. You can, if once you decide that your life doesn't have value, something in your brain has gone wrong. Now, what you die for can be a just cause or can be an unjust cause. But at the end of the day, when you're forfeiting your life, something in your heart, like something short-circuited that wasn't supposed to, because you're not supposed to want to forfeit your life like that. It's ridiculous.
So apparently, I don't mention the names of shooters, but this is a presidential assassin. So I'm going to make an exception here. The FBI has identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the suspect in the attempted assassination. They didn't have any ID on him. They had to use biometric markers in order to figure out who he was. They went to his home last night and they checked it out. They raided it. They brought stuff out. According to state voter records, he was a registered Republican, but this would have been the first election in which he could have voted because he was only 20 years old. However, when he was 17, he made a $15 donation to Act Blue, which is a political action committee that raises money for left-leaning and Democratic.
Yeah, and so we should talk about what he did years ago before he voted Republican. He donated $15 when he was a teenager, which, by the way, they don't talk about how he donated that $15. That $15 could have very easily been someone soliciting donations at school. I don't know about you guys, but my school had like donation solicitors, and sometimes you would get things for donating. Or you can get berated on the street and be like, oh, please, it's just $15. Like, $15 makes all the difference. Like, we're really, really making a change. And you're like, okay. Just leave me alone. Here you go, $15. It doesn't tell you, like, what the money was. It doesn't tell you. It could have even been some bet or some dumb shit, too. Yeah. It doesn't tell you why he donated that money, the circumstances of that money. Not to mention, if someone donates money to one candidate or one organization and then later votes for a different candidate, wouldn't you assume that their most recent voting history is more pertinent than the $15 they donated 4 years ago? No, it has to be the thing he did 4 years ago, not the thing he did 2 years ago that speaks on his character more. Oh, come on. I personally go based on what someone most recently did. Ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. 43 minus 1. Thank you for the prime. I mean, Trump was a Democrat before he was a Republican. Precisely. This would be like me claiming, if you think about it, Trump was a Democrat first. So it's like, yeah, and he's a Republican now. So I'm going to go based off of what he is now, not what he used to be 4 years ago when he was 16 or some shit. What? It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Democratic politicians, according to a 2021 Federal Election Commission filing. That donation was earmarked for the Progressive Turnout Project, a national group that rallied.
1 second, sorry. This is another really good point. All this shit that Ben is saying, where he's like, you can't just keep calling someone Hitler, and expect nothing to happen. Cough. January 6th makes Trump liable by that statement. No, he doesn't, because I just made up a reason that makes me right. Did you consider that? It's totally different. I bet you didn't consider that. Trump was based. So it's different. Okay. Think about it. Think about it. I bet you didn't think about that. I did. And yeah, he literally says the same thing about trans people literally killing people by inciting violence. He literally calls trans people like that are coming for your children. Like the most fear-mongering shit possible. Are you then not inciting violence and making your fellow Americans victims of violence? Oh, no, you're not liable for that. No. It's only when leftists and liberals do it, right? Not when conservatives do it. Yeah, for sure. Maybe you did say Ben hates Trump. Maybe that's Ben's endgame. Get Trump held liable for January 6th. Midwest Nice. Thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
All these Democrats to vote. Crooks' father, who was 53, told CNN he was still trying to figure out what happened and would wait until he spoke to law enforcement before speaking about his son. The only thing we know about him is that he graduated high school in 2022 and received a $500 STAR award from the National Math and Science Initiative. Video from the ceremony posted online shows Crooks with glasses and a black graduation gown posing with a school official, apparently. Again, law enforcement vehicles have been stationed outside the residence listed at the address on...
Republicans literally call for civil war on Twitter bi-weekly. Look no further than this shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene put out this statement. Democrats wanted this to happen. They wanted Trump gone for years, and they've prepared to do anything to make that happen. Just this Congress, Representative Troy, Barbara Lee, blah, 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 okay, and Steve Cohen all co-sponsored legislation to terminate Trump's Secret Service protection. Why would they do that? You know the reason. Others may have been killed, innocent people that were there supporting President Trump, and all because they wanted was to make America great again, and they may have been murdered for it. Thank God Secret Service there was for Trump and everyone else at today's rally. Except, I guess, the people who, the person who died and the person who was critically injured. Anyways, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene from like a year ago.
While Joe Biden broke America's pledge to never leave a man behind, Nancy Pelosi is sneaking the Green New Deal into the $3.5 trillion budget. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
No, this doesn't encourage violence at all. No. This is totally different. See, Biden saying that Trump is a threat to democracy, that is a violent threat. Her shooting and exploding a car and then making it look epic and saying target destroyed. No. This is just a nice, friendly message. She's just trying to say we all want to be friends. We just all want to be friends together. Obviously, Republicans have never made a single threat for violence ever in forever. It's never happened. No. Okay. Sure, man, sure.
Crooks' voter registration record. They were on the scene. A bomb squad was at the residence as well. Unclear at this point what more we know. We'll bring it to you as it emerges, obviously. In terms of what...
There's a very big difference between talking about groups versus a specific individual. Oh, so what about when they were saying hang Mike Pence? When they were storming the Capitol and they brought, like, a noose and they said hang Mike Pence? What was that about?
I'm Amy Goodman. We turn now to the third public hearing of the House Select Committee.
Let's see if they'll show it.
Recognized that maybe they had gotten into the building. Then President Trump tweeted, Mike Pence didn't have the courage.
What about this?
To do what should have been.
What about the hanging of Mike Pence? What about the people that chanted that? Was that just for fun, or was that not a direct a threat? What was that all about? They brought a fucking gallows with them? Yeah. Here we go. I can't find the... Oh, here it is. That's so weird, because you guys were saying it was only liberals that threatened violence. What's this about?
How did we get to this point?
Wonder what's up with that. It's almost like conservatives are very violent people. And this is a pattern? It's almost like the Proud Boys literally released a statement very recently talking about how they were just playing around. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't realize they were joking. They were just decaying. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Proud Boys recently put out a statement talking about how we need to fight. I'll have to find it. Just a little goofing, obviously. Yeah. Obviously. Okay, getting back to the video.
What actually happened? There are obviously many, many witnesses. So we're going to break this into two parts. There are the witnesses to the actual shooting and the aftermath, and then there are the witnesses who saw the shooter up on the roof. And Secret Service obviously reacted late on this. So here is Pennsylvania State House candidate Rico Elmore, who was present and explains what he saw as this went down.
I yelled, everyone to get down, and everybody was getting down. Everybody was yelling, get down. I told people to get down. And then as I'm just pointing people and telling people, like, you know, get down. It's safe measures. And people were listening. And then I seen they had yelled for the medic, and there was
Oh, this is another really good one. Have you seen my taco? This is a great article to link about conservative violence and violent rhetoric. Leader of the pro-Trump Project 2025 suggests there will be a new American revolution. And he says the leader of the conservative think tank orchestrating plans for a massive overhaul of the federal government in the event of a Republican presidential win said that the country is in the midst of a second American revolution that will be bloodless if the left allows it to be. I wonder what he meant by that. He really could have meant anything by that. I mean, bloodless could refer to so many things, right? It could refer to so many things. It's just impossible to know which specific thing because there's so many things, okay? It's just, yeah, exactly. I'm glad you guys understand what I'm saying, you know?
Individual who was hit in the head. I jumped over the barrier that was there. I ran up into the bleachers, and there was a towel that the people had, and I took the towel and I pushed it against the deceased head, and just to try to, it's all I could think about doing was trying to, you know, help him.
It is the most serious assassination attempt on a presidential candidate or sitting president since the assassination attempt against Ronald Reagan that nearly ended with Ronald Reagan's death and ended with the severe wounding of his press aide, Jim Brady. It is an insane incident. It's total. I mean, again, it's disturbing at every possible level it is possible to be disturbed. Selena Zito is a columnist who's written extensively about President Trump. She was a few feet from the president when this happened. She describes the situation. She says, I was 4 feet from the stage in a car.
I'm so sorry, but I noticed this chatter that left, I guess, that ran out of arguments. Diabolical, thank you so much for the gift sub. MAGA for life, Trump 2024. Leftists can't aim for shit. Lefty lunatics can't shoot. They already announced a shooter down. I bet you'd act different when you are shocked too, missy. Man. Hey, dumbass, you donated to Biden and act blue. He donated to Biden, dummy. Educate yourself and I will talk to you, dummy. DEI woman, Secret Service agents need to go. They were embarrassing. I'm sorry, what did the male ones do? Last I checked, they also kind of sat there and didn't do anything. Ben Shapiro is goated and based. Oh, come on. I want to bitch slap you around. Whoa, threats of violence. Whoa, Twitch, FBI, hello, FBI. Wow. It's not cool, man. It's been proven that demon rats registered as Republicans to sway the primary vote of Brave from Trump. Demon rats are lunatics. Why are you shaking your head? He's right. Keep smiling, scumbag. He's right. You are a sick streamer. The left spewed the violent rhetoric. Tell us what's wrong with your life. I said what I said. It almost reads as parody. It almost reads as parody. It's so sad. But I have to say, I love that they all have the same profile picture. In the car, with a cap, usually sunglasses. It's amazing. Truly just like the NPCs of our world. Man. All right, let's finish up this Ben Shapiro video.
Causeway with about 5 other journalists. My daughter, a photographer, was next to me. Her husband was next to her. Trump started speaking. 6 minutes later.
I'm sorry. Lastly. Sorry, I'm going through chat messages. To say that for Ben Shapiro to say this is all because the left keeps calling Trump Hitler. This is a perfect response. Hey, well, maybe he should stop trying to be Hitler. LOL. Has Trump considered not being the most fascistic person on the planet? And maybe we won't call him a fascist. An insane concept. I know. Maybe a little too crazy, a little too highbrow. I get it.
We heard the noise. Pop, pop, pop. Some people in the crowd might have thought they heard fireworks. I knew exactly what it was. I own a gun. I looked up at the president. He touched his ear. I was shocked to see blood on his face, a smear of red across his cheek. Suddenly, he was surrounded. Everyone went down. My daughter hit the ground. My son-in-law lay on top of her. I threw my body next to theirs. Immediately, a security officer on top of me. Are you okay? Are you okay? He asked. 3 more shots. Pop, pop, pop. I've since seen videos of what happened. People were screaming, but all I remember hearing was an eerie silence. With that kind of crowd, you'd expect pandemonium, a stampede. I never had that sense of chaos. Trump was back on his feet within seconds. Although his red hat was knocked off his head, he was calm. I heard him shout to one of the staffers, "Get my shoes." He lifted his arm in the air. I think he shouted, "Fight." Then he definitely shouted, "USA." The crowd chanted it back in unison. I'm still in shock. I can't make any sense of it right now. As a journalist, you're always looking 360 degrees around you at all times, not for danger, but for details. The whole thing was deeply disorienting. What's clear to me after today is that if someone is determined to commit an act of political violence, they will find a way. And that last point is the big point here. Okay, we have seen an increase in political violence in this country over the course of the last 5 years, truly touching off with the riots of 2020. There were obviously riots in 2014 that were winked and nodded at by federal law enforcement. 2020 was the culmination of that. We saw political violence at the congressional baseball shooting. We've seen political violence in the attempted assassination.
Pop, pop, pop. Ben started rapping again? Please, God, no.
Of Brett Kavanaugh. This is a dark era. We are re-entering an era in which political assassination is considered part of the normal life of the nation if what happened yesterday does not stop. Here is CBS speaking to ER physician Dr. Jim Sweetland, who tried to save the man who was murdered. You can see that his shirt is still stained with blood.
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, "He's been shot, he's been shot." So I made my way over. I said, "I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you." The guy had spun around and was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There's lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was there
him
only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
Meanwhile, NBC's Dash Burns spoke with an OBGYN who carried the body off.
As a reminder, everybody, please be warned that if you are on Twitter or on a few other platforms as well, people are not putting content warnings on the guy who actually died because of the shooting. So please scroll carefully or don't. Yeah, it's not great. There's a lot of gory photos. So content warning and trigger warning to anyone who is sensitive to that type of imagery. Yeah. Yeah.
Stage.
I heard several gunshots. The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head, was instantly killed, fell to the bottom of the bleachers. Another woman looked like she got hit in the forearm or hand. And at that point, state police and a SWAT team, started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
You helped carry the man yourself. What was his condition when you were carrying him?
He's deceased.
There's a GoFundMe for the families of the people who were killed and wounded in Pennsylvania. I highly recommend you go check it out. We'll drop a link on YouTube. We'll drop a link wherever we can, obviously, in terms of social media in order to raise money for the families. So what exactly was Secret Service doing? Because if you see an overhead map of the area, there's a building that is extremely close. We're talking like 150 meters maybe. Very, very close to the actual stage where President Trump was shot. How in the world did Secret Service not catch this? There are two questions. One is, why didn't they react faster when they saw the shooter? Because it turns out there were a lot of people who saw the shooter. Number two is, why didn't they know that the shooter was up on the roof? The first question is easier to answer. Susan Crabtree over at Real Clear Politics. She says, here's my reporting on why the Secret Service did not shoot until after the shooter engaged, and some context about the House Republican investigation already underway into whether the agency's DEI policies are affecting its readiness. The blowback against the Secret Service started within the hour of the assassination attempt and continued even after Trump and others credited the agency with saving Trump's life by quickly killing a shooter crawling across a nearby rooftop. But a source within the Secret Service community tells Real Clear Politics the agency rules of engagement in this situation are to wait until the president is fired upon to return fire. You want to take a shot, then find out the guy was holding a telescope, the source suggested? The Secret Service is by nature reactive, and you better be right when you do react or you're effed. So first of all, that protocol should probably change. If you are foolish enough to go up top of a roof and bring a telescope, then Secret Service has to do its job. It has to take preventative measures. The Secret Service protocol requires a counter sniper aware of a potential shooter to radio directly to Intel Division team to respond and investigate. In this case, the investigation may have been cut short by the shooter firing his weapon, so the counter sniper then fired as quickly as possible in return. The source praised the counter sniper who acquired the target and responded within 3 seconds, calling their performance incredible. The counter snipers are highly trained and extremely accurate. However, that is the answer as to why the shots went off first. The real question is, why in the world was this person on the roof of an adjacent building with a rifle? So here is video that has emerged.
Nice to see Ben Shapiro advocating for the agents of the state to fire at unarmed spectators. Incredible stuff.
Trump rallygoers shouting that they see the shooter moments before the shooting.
And you know, that's a little bit.
Like, the counter snipers can't just fucking machine gun as soon as someone starts shooting. What the fuck? Wait.
Stay over here.
So you can hear it right there. People shouting he's got a gun before the first shots are fired. TMZ has actual footage of the attempted assassination. You can see him lying on top of the roof.
I don't see him.
So you can hear it right there. Assassination.
Oh, is it like blurred? Is it this? I can't really see it. Oh. Okay. Man, visually, I don't understand really what I'm looking at. Exactly. His head is right under the M? Okay. All right.
You can see him lying on top of the roof. He's killed almost immediately by the Secret Service. How did he get on top of the building? How did he get on top of the building? It's just unbelievable that this was even a possibility. Again, an overhead map shows law enforcement snipers on the roof of a nearby building behind the stage.
Well, he used the ladder. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. The basic concept. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, and my understanding of what protocol looks like for Social Security obviously is going to be very lacking. This seems like an instance of just complacency. We haven't had an assassination attempt in ages. So did I say Social Security? Sorry, Secret Service. Excuse me, Secret Service. Yeah, Social Security. Sorry, my bad. We haven't had one since Reagan. It's been, what, almost half a century? That we know of at the very least, right? So I'm not surprised that complacency has ballooned at least a little bit. Second, I don't know, Bush had a shoe thrown at him. Stop. Second, you're in an outdoor area. You have a limited number of Secret Service agents. How many ledges can you check, right? How many people do you have checking every single ledge? It's not an insane concept that you might miss one. There were like 2 buildings though, but it was like the only building around though. I'll have to see like an overhead shot of. It looks like the snipers were actually watching him the entire time and waiting until he shot. Really? Oh, okay. This is a good photo actually from Telegraph. Let's see. Stop. Location of suspected gunman's body. Here is the stage where they spelled Trump wrong. They wrote where Trump was speaking. Christ. Here are the bleachers. Here's the bleachers that were behind him, the crowd behind him. Here's the wounded rally attendee. Law enforcement snipers on the roof. What's to the right? From what I heard, state police were in control of that area and they were supposed to have secured the area. Secret Service only secured the main rally area. Police in confidence? No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. Jesus. Incredible.
Where Trump was speaking. The shooter was on the only other nearby building, which is extremely, extremely close to where President Trump was speaking. How was he allowed up there? There are a lot of people who are engaged in a lot of theorizing today, but that is the fundamental question. The fundamental question is, how is it that this person was able to climb onto the roof with a long gun? How was that possible? How is that possible? Speaker Mike Johnson has already announced a full-scale investigation. He says the House will conduct a full investigation of the tragic events today. The American people deserve to know the truth. We'll have Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle and other appropriate officials from DHS and the FBI appear for a hearing before our committees ASAP. This was only exacerbated by footage of some of the agents afterwards. So as you could even see in the original footage of the attempted assassination of President Trump, many of the people who are attempting to jump on him and cover him are people who are shorter and smaller than President Trump, which is a disaster area. I mean, I travel with private security. I am not President Trump. I get some threats. I am not President Trump. My security, they are bigger and stronger than I am. That's why they're security.
Everyone is bigger and stronger than you are, Ben. Everyone is. It's not that hard to find that security. Like, you're like 4 to 100 pounds soaking wet. A fucking toddler could potentially be bigger than you. Come on.
If you can't shield President Trump with your body, what are you even doing in this job? This particular video has gone viral, as well it should. It is video of President Trump climbing into his travel vehicle here. And as you'll see, there are 2 Secret Service agents.
Not to mention, the stupidest part of this argument that he's making is as like a quick diagram to better explain my point. Let's take out a little sketch pad here. The bigger problem with what he's talking about is if you have someone on like an elevated roof, okay, which seemingly the sniper was like here, it doesn't matter if your your Secret Service agents are taller or shorter than you because you're looking down. The goal of putting all those extra people is at the very least to prevent body shots. That's why the first thing they do is drop you to the ground. And also, hitting those shots is fucking difficult. Just moving it makes a huge difference. It wasn't that high up. This is high up enough. What he's talking about right now is like, oh wait, did Biden start speaking? Wait, guys. Or is he late? We're still waiting. Thank you. Thank you. Minor site calibration issue / wind. He was using iron sights, by the way. You're lying. You're fucking lying. Are you serious? Hi, Quinoa. Jesus Christ, damn. That's insane. That's actually insane. I've heard no scoops, but I haven't seen the news say it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Secret Service agents are doing more. They need to be more than just tall. Ridiculous.
Standing by the car. Both of them are female. Both of them do not look like they are in particularly good shape. One of them is fumbling around to reholster her weapon, as though she doesn't know how to reholster a weapon.
That is so
It looks
funny.
like something out of Reno 911. It's pathetic.
It's so funny that they're making this about DEI and how could we put women Secret Service agents? How could we do that? Oh, it's just so pathetic. It's just amazing. Oh my God. I know from playing COD that scopes will show a glare. And that's no good. It's just ridiculous. You don't understand. All Secret Service agents need to be Shaquille O'Neal.
Here's some of the footage. Here she is. She's trying to figure out what to do. She reaches in. She's trying to reholster her weapon. She can't find the holster. She's not sure. Like, this, of course, is raising some fairly serious questions about.
Yeah, all of this was this fucking woman's fault. As usual, women are to blame for everything. As usual, as usual. This is hilarious. To focus on such an unimportant detail is unbelievably hilarious. That's amazing. That's amazing. And this is like one of many posts that's doing this. Benny Johnson says, absolute humiliation for this gaggle of female Secret Service agents. Look at this disorder. Can't holster weapon, gear falling to the ground, erratic, fearful movements, no show of force or composure. Incredible. Lauren Chen coming out to say, women have no place in Secret Service. If it came down to it, a Secret Service agent should be able to physically subdue an attacker. They have a gun. You just have to be able to aim and pull a trigger. Unless you're shooting like some crazy gun, you don't need like that much strength to pull the trigger. What? This is so stupid. This is so dumb. The whole point is just to be a human shield in this situation. Ben should be happy females might take a bullet to save the orangutan. Sorry, Orange Man. I misread that. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You as a Secret Service agent, your job is not to like physically fight. You're not a bouncer, dude. Your job is not to physically fight people. Your job is to listen to intel and respond to the intel. And shoot whatever threat shows up or guard whoever needs to be chosen or protected, excuse me. Do you really think they were chosen because they were the best people for the job? No, I think they were chosen because they were the people willing to take a bullet for the former president. I think that's why, actually. Can we please remove all female Secret Service agents? Men only, preferably male military veterans. This is not a job for a woman. Men be like, women never want to do the dangerous jobs that us men are willing to do. And then when they do them, they're like, you are not fit for doing this job. Stop it. It's like, what do you want, dude? Like, I don't know what you want. Genuinely.
What in the hell is Secret Service staffing? How in the hell are they staffing this thing? Well, perhaps one of the explanations for how you end up with Secret Service agents who don't know how to reholster a weapon is the fact that they have been actively attempting to DEI the entire Secret Service. And it turns out when you lower standards in order to achieve particular quotas, the quality goes down. There's a damn shock. This is Secret Service head Kimberly Cheadle explaining to CBS News not all that long ago that her goal was a 30% Secret Service agency. Your goal should be protecting people like President Trump. You don't have that many of them.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030.
Sorry, one second. Naomi, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. I'm an infantry vet, and I bet 80% of the women in my powerlifting gym couldn't clap. At least 20% of the male infantry vets I worked with. Can we please stop with this narrative? What? Yeah, it's a powerlifting gym. Well, what? Why are you not comparing the female infantry vets with the male infantry vets? Oh, could? Oh, Sorry. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even read this. I apologize. Can we please get a gift sub from me accidentally? Can we please? I'm so sorry. I apologize. Friendly fire, dude. Friendly fire. I apologize. I'm very sorry. Okay. Sorry, Jojo. You are based. You are not cringe. It is me who is cringe. I'm so sorry. For a second, I thought you were saying what you initially typed, and I was like, this is so stupid. You just need to be able to shoot the gun and listen to intel. That's all you need to be able to do. You're not fucking... There isn't a guy showing up to kill Trump that's like, I'm gonna fisticuff him. Like, what? It's not happening. It's just not happening. And if it was happening, a sniper would just take him out, dude. Like, it's just silly. It's so silly. We're cooked, Sabrina. We're cooked. Also, big muscles aren't going to make a bullet stop harder. Exactly. Mr. Shootout, thank you so much for the gift sub. And thank you, POTUS Chad, thank you for the gift sub to Jojo. Again, I really apologize, Jojo. I'm so sorry. I really apologize. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Yeah, being more muscular doesn't make the bullet work worse. That's not. All of them are wearing bulletproof vests. That's the Did they pierce the gay ear? Stop, Sabrina. No, I would simply deflect the bullet with my man muscles, obviously. Come on, be real. It's so ridiculous. By that same notion, hey, I really didn't like how thin those male Secret Service agents were. I want 300-pound Secret Service agents so they can stop the bullet harder. It's just so stupid. It's just ridiculous.
And even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
I'm sorry, that is not the goal of the Secret Service. And once again, the peculiar...
Ben's inability to recognize or his desire to refuse to recognize that that's just PR talk. That's literally just PR talk. That's literally all it is.
Your oddity of diversity, equity, and inclusion, in which it matters more who does the job than how well they do it, has consequences. Just pathetic. Okay, so President Trump reacted to this. He issued a statement. And honestly, it's a beautiful statement. He said, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. He released this quite early. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Later, he released a second statement. Early this morning, he posted, thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday,
Powerful
as it was God alone who prevented the
Powerful.
unthinkable from happening. That is 100% true. I mean, as I pointed out, he moves his head 2 inches and he's dead. And this country is forever changed in radical and insane ways. He says, quote, we will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. Our love goes out to other victims and their families. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded and hold in our hearts the memory of the citizen who was so horribly killed. In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country. I love you all. I look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with Keemstar? Drama Alert posted this. I didn't even see this. Low IQ political streamer Hassan Piker claims Donald Trump was clip farming, aka being shot for social media engagement.
As well as you saw
He's clip farming harder than the new crop of FaZe talent. He's like FaZe Ronaldo. He's clip farming harder than Jinxie. He keeps throwing up his fucking fist.
Been at many of these Trump rallies. And here's a picture from one of our colleagues there on the ground, the photojournalists who are in the front row showing the blood on Florence as
He's literally talking about his stage presence. He says it right here.
many of these Trump rallies. And here's a picture from one of our colleagues there on the ground, the photojournalist.
Sorry.
He's throwing up his fucking fist.
He keeps throwing up his fucking fist. He's literally talking. He's not talking about getting shot. He's saying Donald Trump being content brand and being like, fight, fight, fight. That is clip farming. That is literally clip farming. At no point in this clip does it even suggest that this was anything else. I thought it was going to be out of context. This is even more stupid. Dude, fucking drama alert. You guys left the part in that absolves him of the crime you claim to be making. What? You claim that he is committing. Excuse me. Why do they always post Hassan's best moments as L's? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. This is a totally normal take. This is totally normal. There's nothing about this that's low IQ. This is just normal. That's literally what he's doing. It's literally, Trump recognizes that if you're in front of a camera, you have to do your best to look as good as you can always. And that is what his autopilot goes to. He's been on camera for decades. He knows what's important when you're in front of a camera. That's why he did it. He realized, oh, the shooting stopped.
Bimbo, let's be real. Tetsuya Yamagami did this with a gun he made in a cave with a box of scraps. America used to build things.
He literally says, fight, fight. And he's like shoving the Secret Service agents out of the way so he can fucking send his fist in the air to get some sick shots. He's like, dude, I got shot. This is the perfect time for being content brained. Oh my God, my polling is going to be so good after this. Yeah. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Yeah. Yeah, that is by definition clip farming. That's what that is. That's literally what that is. That is not a conspiracy theory. That's not a low IQ take. That's just accurate reporting, dude.
It's, again, a beautiful statement from President Trump in response to all of this. The first major Democratic politician to respond was not the sitting president of the United States. The first major politician to respond was Barack Obama, who issued a statement to media, I quote,
Stop. I have to pee so badly. I'm so sorry.
There's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't know yet exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Okay, then President Biden finally made a public statement. He came out, he said it was sick, but he still refused to label it an assassination attempt after it was completely obvious. Remember, he didn't speak until about 8:15 last night, which is past his bedtime, apparently. This is 2 hours after the attempted shooting. Everyone knew by this point that there was an assassination attempt. It was on video. The blood was evident on President Trump's face. And here was Joe Biden saying, well, we don't know. We don't know. And then he suggests we have to unify.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this.
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Just tepid and pathetic. Tepid and pathetic. If this had been an assassination attempt against a Democrat, you know that this would be a completely different statement by President Biden. And the reason it would be a completely different statement by President Biden is because one of the great lies that the left has told over the course of my lifetime is that heated political rhetoric is only a feature of the right. The left can say whatever the hell they want about any Republican, particularly President Trump. They can say it over and over. They can shout it from the rooftops. They can run entire political campaigns based on it and then declare that they're not answerable to reality. Hearing President Biden call for unity in this moment after this Of course, he should. He should have all along. Instead, he has run a political campaign for re-election on the basis that Donald Trump is Hitler. If you keep saying your opponent is Hitler, somebody might take you seriously, as it turns out. Here is Joe Biden. This is his speech at 2022 at Independence Hall. I said this is one of the most dangerous and fascistic political speeches I ever heard. It was Independence Hall, 2022, flanked by members of the military in the background against a blood-red Independence Hall. Here was Joe Biden. Again, this is in the lead up to the midterm elections. Before Donald Trump was even the nominee. Donald Trump had not even declared his candidacy for the presidency again at this point, suggesting that the victory of his political opponents would end democracy in America. The most irresponsible political rhetoric of my lifetime. Here was Joe Biden in 2022.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. For a long time, we've told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it.
How? So he suggests the answer is vote. But to untrained ears, if someone says this person, Julius Caesar, is a threat to the Senate, if somebody says that this person, Hitler, is a threat to democracy, a threat to the West, a threat to your basic freedoms, if this person becomes president, there might not be any more elections. If you say that over and over and over again, why would you possibly be shocked if somebody takes you seriously? Again, only the shooter is responsible for the shooting, but President Biden is responsible for the increase in the temperature.
This is an amazing post. Conservative self-owns. Here's his tweet from today. Excuse me. A shocking and tragic day for the nation and an amazing, heroic response from President Trump. You cannot repeatedly and endlessly label a major party candidate and former president actual Hitler. A full-scale threat to democracy without radically increasing the danger of violence in America. The danger has been obvious for years and engaged in by nearly everyone on the left, up to and including the current president. We are in a hideous, ugly new era. Oh, what's that? What's that? Wait a minute. Wait. That's really weird. What did you say? Let's see. 2 years ago? The attempt to twist the Paul Pelosi attack into a broader story about supposed extremism and Republican rhetoric, so you gotta vote Democrat, is transparently opportunistic and pathetic. Everyone can see what you're doing, Democrats, and the media, and it's disgusting. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. You know what else is kind of weird? That Trump called Biden the destroyer of democracy. In December 2nd, 2023. Oh, weird. Oh, here's another link to that. Donald Trump calls President Biden a threat to democracy.
A vote for Trump is a vote to save Wisconsin and is a vote to save your country. This country is finished if we don't win this election. And I heard somebody say it, a scholar say it 2-3 days ago, said, if we don't win, this may be the last election our country ever has. And there could be truth to it. That's where we're going. Because Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. He's a threat to democracy. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I guess when Trump does it, it's okay. Interesting. Interesting. So is Ben admitting that Trump called for an insurrection on January 6th? No, it's different when it's different. January 6th was different because, anyways. Here's March 10th. Breaking. Kansas Republican Party hosts fundraiser featuring accused child molester Ted Nugent, where attendees could donate to assault President Biden in an effigy. A disgusting display designed to encourage political violence. The head of the Kansas GOP Mike Brown should resign. Wow, these kicks suck. Y'all suck ass at fighting, damn. Fucking soy out here, man. Jesus, hit the gym. This guy almost took himself out. Look at this. Look, he's like, two, God damn, bro. Careful, you need a hip replacement, man. Shit. Those are the type of people that, like, you know, you watch those street fight videos and, like, one guy just punches another guy and the other guy just, like, knocks over. He's just like, Grandpa over here would be the guy getting punched and knocking over immediately. But it's adorable that Grandpa was allowed to show up to, like, try and beat the shit out of fake Biden. It's incredible. Incredible. And on the contrary, war hysteria is continuous, universal in all countries. Yeah. It's stupid. It's dumb. Good quote. All right. I wanted to go back to the normal news coverage really quickly. I just want to see. It seems like President Biden showing up late. He was supposed to be here 35 minutes ago. Where are you? Where are you? Wake up, Joe Biden. Wake up, Joe Biden. Wake up. Wake up. I want to see if there's any new details regarding the shooting.
Everyone, we're coming on the air with breaking news. President Biden is about to address the nation in the wake of the assassination attempt on former President Trump. As we await the president, here's what we know right now. The shooter has now been identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was killed immediately after firing at the former president during that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last night. Investigators have been at the suspect's house this morning. Mr. Trump was injured in the shooting. He says a bullet hit one of his ears. He was treated, and the campaign now says he is fine. In a video posted last night, you can see Mr. Trump walking down the stairs of his airplane. We have learned more about the father who that man died protecting his family. Two more were seriously injured and are still in critical condition. In an address late last night, President Biden did speak, but he is about to approach the podium now. So let's go to President Biden.
Good afternoon. Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering. We had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired. And he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight, in fact, who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is.
Did you say Homeless Security?
I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, As this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation. We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are.
I'm so proud of him. You got it.
And so may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, when you spoke to President Trump yesterday,
All right, the President of the United States addressing the nation there briefly and promising more from the Oval Office tonight. Let me bring in.
He just walks like a crypt keeper, man. Look at this. Get this shit
All right,
off
the
the
President
screen.
of the
I wanna see
United
his
States
hands.
addressing the nation there briefly and promising.
God. Lord almighty, man. Fuck. Like a mummy, dude. Absolutely. Oh, I got a good angle of it here. Holy moly, dude. Ugh. What the fuck? Good Lord. Where's his fucking scythe, bro? Thriller. Oh my God. No questions. No questions, sir. No questions, sir. No question, ma'am. Sorry. Bro reached out like he was waiting for his walker. His left hand, I forgive him for that because he was trying to hold open the door. The right hand, what was that one? This is not good, man. Why does our president have to be fucking a billion years old, dude? Why? Why, dude? Why can't our president be of a reasonable age? Why does he have to be fucking 80 bajillion years, man? Come on. It's like that because of the puppet strings holding him up. Wait a minute. You might be onto something. Wait a minute. Hold up. No, wait. Wait. We need Zoomer presidents? We certainly don't need Zoomer presidents, okay? We certainly don't need that. All right? That's not what I want. That's definitely not. Let's get back to the news, the live reporting.
The Trump team had asked for and had needed.
Okay, Adrian, you were at the site of where this happened. There were so many witnesses. So many of them spoke to us. And there's also news again about the rally goer who lost his life, the two others who are in critical condition. I know the governor of Pennsylvania spoke just a moment ago about the man who lost his life, the man who was killed, and he called him a girl dad. What more can you tell us about the immediate aftermath?
And we just heard President Biden talking about that father as well, saying he died trying to protect his family. We heard from the governor of Pennsylvania a short time ago, and I will share part of that conversation with you in just a moment. But this is still an active crime scene. If you look over my shoulder, you will see the road closed signs. And witnesses told us the shooter was elevated on the building that's in the near distance here next to the crane. And that is where that alleged gunman fired those shots, ending.
What's really scary is that there were like parents that took their kids to that. That's way more terrifying.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally.
The seat where Corey Comparator would always sit every Sunday was empty today. You heard the governor say he would attend church every Sunday. There's been a lot of talk about President Trump. Obviously, we saw what happened. We've seen the images. I've attended.
I'm sorry. I don't know if this is like insensitive or what you would call it, but it feels so gross that so many of these people, Trump included, say like, God save Trump. And in their universe, they don't care that God didn't save this other person.
Thank God last night's rally was one in which President Trump wanted to use and reference the Jumbotron.
It makes my skin crawl.
Causing him to slightly move his head at the moment shots were fired. He is grateful for all of the prayers, love, and support out there as he prepares for the GOP conference
It's
in
hilarious that Trump is being protected by all the agencies that he wants to abolish.
Wisconsin. And clearly, things have shifted. Everything has changed. Most likely, even the tone of the RNC.
Yeah, Katie. Indeed. It was that move of the head a moment before the shooting.
This guy literally went to church every Sunday, and Trump can't even quote a single verse, so it tells you a lot about if their God is true. Yeah. Fucking precisely. I mean, when they asked Trump, what's your favorite verse? What's your favorite section? He's like, I love it all. All of it is really good. I like the beginning, the middle. I like the end. I love it all, honestly. I couldn't pick a favorite. I love it all. 2 Corinthians was a good one. Whatever was in there. It's just
that is extremely significant. Ali Rafa, you're at the White House for us. The president just spoke. He said he's going to be speaking again tonight from the Oval. Do we have any idea what more he might say?
Yeah, Katie, well, presumably the president will continue to be briefed by these law enforcement officials, these Homeland Security officials that he was able to meet with in person in the Situation Room this morning after he left Rehoboth Beach, where he was staying over the weekend early last night to return here to the White House. But as you heard,
if the RNC can't hide their bloodlust after this, it might actually work in Dems' favors. I mean, the problem is that Biden is not going to engage in any rhetoric that actually will help him hold any office at all.
would be available to the FBI as it takes the lead.
Sorry. Well, or like I actually had a Biden. Oh my God, I had a Biden moment. I was reading chat. He's not actually pulling anything that would help him win office. Nothing.
As well as the mayor of Butler.
He has so many opportunities to say shit that would actually rally people to the polls, that would rally people to go vote for him. And instead, I'm just going to engage in civility politics as usual. While all of them are calling us violent, bloodthirsty radicals, we'll just say, we're praying for his family. I know yesterday we said he was a threat to democracy, but today we're praying for him and his family. Like, where's the vigor? Where's the, what happened today was unacceptable. What happened, or rather what, I guess, If he would put out a statement yesterday. But today he should have said, what happened yesterday was unacceptable. We should not be assassinating people. We know nothing about the details or the reasoning why. And I would like everyone to wait until we have more information to understand why this horrible tragedy has happened. But please understand that our fight here, our need to win this election, to go out and vote, nothing has changed. Like, where's the vigor? You can say we are not in favor of political violence and motivate people to go to the polls. Like, I don't understand. It's just, Sean put it really well online. No, not this one. No, this one was a funny tweet, but it's not that one. It's Pokemon go to the polls. No. It's this. Donald Trump will end democracy and destroy America. Also, I hope he gets well soon. What's going on there? But we have to be civil, even to the guy we're trying to paint as Hitler 2.0. Either he's Hitler or he's not. I'm sorry. Sending him flowers and a card undercuts the doomer messaging. They don't really believe it. That would come off as incredibly self-serving in this moment. Yeah, and the alternative is what? That you look like you don't have a fucking spine? You can say that we decry this political violence. We should never have political violence against candidates that are attempting to win in a fair way. But no, this changes absolutely nothing for our election in 2024. We will beat Donald Trump in the polls. We will beat him through our votes. Perfect. You're telling people that we have to win. We have to win this election without saying, go kill him, because we don't want to do that. You can say political violence is wrong, political violence is bad, and then also say, hey, this doesn't change anything. We need to win this election no matter what. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. Versus what he's doing right now, which is the same old Biden of, oh, this is so awful. Anyways, civility politics. Yeah. And they're like making him a martyr. Exactly. They're like making him look good. Undermining the message the Democrats have been using for 8 years as the most democratic messaging of all time. It's pathetic. It's fucking so pathetic. All it does is show your voters that you don't actually care about your issue, the issues you claim to care about.
What a horrifying thing to witness.
Very horrifying. We're not even over it. It was unbelievable. We were in the bleachers where the man and the woman.
Another good example, another really, really good example, by the way, chat. Someone else mentioned it, but this is absolutely correct. This is such a missed opportunity. They should have brought up mental health care and gun reforms. There is no messaging that is more pro-Trump and also pro-democracy than bringing up mental health care and gun reforms. What a fucking missed opportunity to say this should never, ever happen again. And I promise we will never allow such behavior to happen again. We need gun control. When the president himself, when the ex-president himself is at risk of being killed by a random person with a gun who shouldn't have one, what better reason to have gun control? Don't politicize this. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. I assume you're being sarcastic. You have to be. There's no way, right? You have to be. This is literally the perfect. Okay, yes, sarcasm. Okay, woo. I saw the number of messages. I was like, there's no way, right? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. You're a good chatter. Yeah, you're right. This was an excellent opportunity for Biden and he fumbled it. It's so pathetic. It was a perfect opportunity. What better way to show that you care about Trump getting shot at than to say we need reform now so that something like this can never happen again? What, like, oh my God. It's just sad. It's just pathetic. It's just, Democrats are so pathetic, dude.
Woman was shot. So our scenario, you know, when you watch it on TV and the people behind Trump aren't really down in our scenario, when after the 3 shots were fired, my son yelled gun and everybody was down in our bleachers, or we were on the ground on top of each other piled. And you can look up in the bleachers and we could see the man and the woman shot there. So we had, you know, they were calling the medics over, trying to get them over. There was a lot going on at this moment. This was all moments, a lot going on. Finally, when they got over, you know, ours was a crime scene, and we got evacuated out then. But we're still there, you know, it was a slow walk out. So we actually, you know, we witnessed the man getting carried out. They had put a towel over his head. The woman got carried out. But we didn't see the other injured folks that they talk about. Those were the 2 in our bleachers.
Gosh, how are
you? Like the 8th row. We were in the 3rd row.
How are you doing today, having seen that?
You just play the scenario over and over and over in your head, and you're thinking 1 row up, 1 row down. If you would.
Chill. They still have time. It just happened yesterday. Biden doesn't, though. This is proof that chat will always be funnier than streamer, no matter what. When Biden is fucking walking around like the damn crypt keeper, he's got to use the time he has very wisely. Like, the Grim Reaper is straight up following him.
Would have done this, if we'd gone there, if we'd have been in this line, would we have gotten a few steps ahead? Because we would have probably sat higher up in the bleachers. So it's a lot that runs through your head. And that family, to see them, they were all there. It was terrible, their faces. Never forget it.
In the video, you can hear just I think what can only be described as a blood-curdling scream from a woman. Was that coming from where you were?
No, that was more towards the middle of the area.
Okay.
A lot of the people around us were just balled up crying, pretty much.
Is it extremist to say that if you take your kid to future Trump rallies, that is child endangerment? Now that this is like a real concern that people should have, you shouldn't be allowed to bring your fucking kids?
Joey and I were going to just decided we were going to, I don't know why, we were going to leave. And they were like down, and we got immediately put down. So, and that was just by other people. That was by security around us that yelled it. So once they came over to our section, though, and realized that that shooter had somehow, if we'd been in his, we were in his target range to get to Trump, and that man was in his wrong seat.
You know, in looking at the video of Trump, again, all the cameras were trained on him. You can see him, he holds his ear, his head is turned, he holds his ear, and then he goes down. There's an image that was captured by the New York Times, and it appears to show the trail of the bullet as it passes by Donald Trump's head. We can show it to you right now. That circle is the bullet going right by him. You know, a couple millimeters difference could have been the end of his life. What are you thinking right now about the world we're living in, the political moment we're in, that this can happen? I mean, it happened during the 70s, it happened, you know, in 1980, but we've gone a long time without having any major political assassinations or even attempts.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be crazy people out there, but I mean,
the world, the political state we're in though right now, is everybody's saying it's going one way or the other. That's how everybody feels. Each side feels that way, and each side has their reasons. And this is what's causing this. These people they're coming at each other. What the media posts, you know, calling Trump Hitler, the names that are called of both candidates doesn't help. We're supposed to be the adults, and
I'm just gonna say. Obviously, we don't know enough, and this is 100% pure speculation. and it is nothing but pure speculation. I think it is way more likely that the shooter did what he did as a result of disappointment in life, disappointment in conservatives, disappointment in Republicans, declining life conditions, declining quality of life, than it is because Democrats called him Hitler. You don't throw away your life because some politician is saying that this other guy's really bad. You throw away your life if you feel like there's nothing of value there. You get bullied, you don't have a lot of friends, you live in a place that probably doesn't have a walkable city, that doesn't have, you don't have any third places, you don't have anything to do, you sit on your computer all day at home in a room, you engage in probably doomerism online, you probably think your life isn't worth living anyways. This is, in my opinion, obviously, again, this is total speculation. I am not claiming it's totally possible that more information will come out, but I just think it's way more likely that your disappointment in life and your material conditions are what would cause you to do that. Not a Democrat, some fucking establishment Dem with the stage presence of a fucking potato calling him Hitler. I don't know that I think that that's reasonable. I don't think that that's likely. He probably could have wanted infamy as well. I don't even know if this is the case, but it's totally possible. The speculation on these Hitler comments is so missing the point. His rhetoric has always been a thing. Material conditions are the true reason and factor here. I mean, we have evidence that shows that material condition increases crime. Like, material conditions impact your mental well-being. We know those things. We know those things for a fact. And it also came out that he was a registered Republican as well. I mean, yeah. Trump literally reposted a supporter's video once that said the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat. Shocker. Shocker. Being Republican, the Democrats at least can say that he was in the MAGA cult and he lost it, and it happens often in a cult. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. Yeah. I think all of us here, all of us that are sane here, know that the MAGA stuff can very quickly and very easily become a cult. I mean, anyone here have MAGA family members or MAGA friends or uncles or aunts or whatever? That's family members, to be fair. In-laws. That there's no reasoning with these people. Like, they're certain that, like, Joe Biden is the devil and we cannot save this country without Trump. It's straight cult behavior. Now, to be clear, not all Trump members are, not all Trump voters are cult members. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. But there is a big number of MAGA people that they're cultists completely and entirely. Trump is their God king. He is the only one that will save them. And no one else is speaking the truth. That's a cult. So we'll see, I guess, when the FBI does its research and figures out what this guy claims his motives were. This is very funny. This is a very funny tweet. Whether it's Republicans storming the Capitol on January 6th or a Republican trying to shoot Donald Trump on July 13th, both sides have a violence problem. If you own any MAGA merch, you're giving your money literally to Trump for no reason. That's cult behavior, straight up. I mean, unless you're buying one sarcastically, right? I guess. But I assume that there's lots of people that sell like copies or whatever that don't. The money goes to like the Etsy shop owner. Anyways, they're getting a lot of mileage out of that $15 donation. And the worst thing, we already talked about it, but like the worst thing about the $15 donation is it doesn't confirm anything about where the donation took place, how it took place, why he donated that money. There are drives all the time in high school that, hey, donate this $15 and maybe if we get enough donations, we can go on a class trip or something. Or maybe he donated it because some staffer was bothering him on the street and they were like, hey, please, you know, it's $15 and we'll leave you alone. Then we'll shut the fuck up. Please, knocking on door. Come on, $15, 50, come on. Like you just don't know why he donated the money. You don't even know. And also, is this serious? Are we serious right now? $15, really? That's more valuable than like being a registered Democrat, or sorry, a registered Republican and voting Republican? He voted Republican in 2022. I don't like, not to mention that when he made the donation, he was 16 years old. And then when he was a registered Republican, he was 17. Your political ideology can change so much when you're a teenager. Because you're like ideology hopping until you find one that you like. This idea that it's like, well, we know what he really thought because the first decision he made was being a Democrat. And then he did the Republican stuff, but we'll ignore that. It's like, what? This is ridiculous. What? Also, yeah, Ryan Grimm actually had an article on Dropsite about how the donation was probably a spam or sub PAC of a larger PAC. Trump's shooter gave $15 to a progressive PAC, but there's more to the story. Now, here's the thing. You know what I will say? I was a hyper-capitalist when I was 16 years old, same. Here's what I will say. If he was door knocking for progressives, if he was door knocking for progressives when he was 16, that I think speaks on his ideology a lot more than a $15 donation. Oh, remove the headline. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Let's see. Never has so much turned on divining one 20-year-old's personal politics. Thomas Matthew Crooks attempted to assassinate Donald Trump yesterday in Butler, Pennsylvania, and with all his social media records still not available yet, all we have to go on is 2 pieces of publicly available political information. We know that he registered as a Republican in Pennsylvania, and we know that on January 20th, 2021, the day of Joe Biden's inauguration, a person of the same name with the same address as the voter file gave $15 to Progressive Turnout Project PAC, which some on the right are describing as hard left, but it's anything but. We'll learn a lot more about the young man in coming days, but the narrative's forming now. But because narratives are forming now, it's important to understand as much as we can about the PAC that he gave to. In short, it's one of those spammy PACs that carpet bombs your inbox, delivering emails with splashy colors and wild fonts and using every trick in the book to convince people to give small amounts of money. Crook's donation, the PAC told Dropsite in a statement, came in response to an email about tuning into the inauguration. In other words, the mere fact of his having given to this PAC on this day based on that email tells us very little about his politics. The email address associated with the contribution only made the one contribution and was unsubscribed from our list 2 years ago. Crooks would have been 17 at the time, though such contributions are legal for minors within limits. These type of email-based PACs have become a scourge for both parties. Typically, the money raised by this PAC goes to their main consultant, the controversial mothership strategy, and then moves back and forth between mothership PACs, with precious little of it getting spent on actual campaigning. You probably get emails just like it nearly every day. Here's one of them from around the time of Biden's inauguration, which I received because I get emails from The Nation magazine and Mother Jones, both of which have rented their email list to the Progressive Turnout Project. And here's one of the emails. It says, should President Joe Biden pardon Donald Trump, with like a yes, a no, and an unsure button. And it says, we need to know if voters support this. This data will prove crucial, so please respond right now. In its comment to Dropsite, the PAC condemned the violence. While we must vehemently disagree with Donald Trump. We believe our differences must be settled with ballots, not bullets. We unequivocally condemn political violence in all of its forms, and we denounce anyone who chooses violence over peaceful political action, the statement said. When I was at the Huffington Post, we published an investigation by Paul Blumenthal into Mothership's relentless turn and burn email strategy. The Democratic Party subsequently cracked down on them, urging candidates and party committees to shun them and others like them. Even a year earlier, in 2015, the party was still defending the practice. Last year, Politico did a profile of Mothership's resilience, noting that they survived the attempted shunning. Mothership said its fees vary by client and that most of the funds paid to the firm are actually passed on to other vendors for advertising, acquisition, and other costs. But in certain cases, its clients have ended up either sending huge amounts back to the firm or in difficult financial straits. Brady Pack, for example, found itself fighting more than $600,000 debt it owed to Mothership that it needed to negotiate to be significantly lower. The pro-gun control group has been paying the firm back in $14,000 monthly installment, or according to FEC records. Progressive Turnout has paid Mothership more than $3.7 million this year while raising $11.5 million. That fundraising haul includes $2.6 million in transfers. Progressive Turnout Project said in a statement that Mothership had helped it raise far more for our programs than we ever could have imagined. Let's see. I'm going to skim through because it's pretty long. Oh, I'm almost done. Never mind. I have a Twitter thread growing where I'll be adding additional details as I find them. I also asked Progressive Turnout PAC if they could forward me this specific inaugural email that triggered Crook's donation. If they do, I'll attach it to that threat and update the web version of this email. One quick thought on the political ramifications. My first instinct was that the assassination attempt would seal the election for Trump, particularly given the imagery it produced. But others have noted it may feed into the fear the public has that another Trump term means a return to nonstop political chaos. There's no reason for us to guess, though, as we'll have polling in a few days that answers the question. Wow. Let's see. This is the information, I guess, that he inputted. Okay. Luckily, all of this information is public, seemingly. Let me scroll through. Can I get a link for that? Yeah, of course. Here you go. I'll go through the Twitter thread, and I'll let you guys know if I see anything in there that seems valuable or useful. I want to go back to the live broadcast.
Law enforcement, but that law enforcement sounded confused or appeared to be confused. What did you make of that?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm hearing that report as well, that prior to the shooting, the information was passed on to law enforcement that there was a shooter. And in the confusion of it all, law enforcement didn't respond appropriately. Candidly, numerous people have stated it, and it's just a cold, harsh fact. And this was a failure on the part of the Secret Service. This is the nightmare that all Secret Service agents, unfortunately, think about from time to time. And there's no way that this should have taken place. The platform, ledge, roof within 150 yards of a stage or a dais of a protected person or a protectee should have absolutely been covered. There is no way in the advance of this rally that was not seen, that was not approached, and obviously just was not addressed appropriately.
You know, we're showing video a moment ago. It says TMZ video. It's video from a person on site, and it's blurry. It's hard to tell, but what you see in the blur just on top of the roof, and we can show it again, that's what we believe to be the dead suspect. The suspect was killed very quickly by the sniper that Karl the Secret Service sniper that Karl just described. How was he able to locate him so quickly? Christopher.
It's my understanding, and from the sources I've spoken with, that the area was known. The rooftop was known, And it wasn't a surprise that someone could be there. So I think the counter snipers were already familiar with that area. As a matter of fact, I know they were familiar with that area. So as the shots rang out, they were able to zero in almost immediately and of course take that shooter out. So they kind of sort of had a heads up once the shots began where to look.
Christopher and Karl, thank you very much. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a reporter who was there, and we'll have him describe what he saw. Don't go anywhere.
The fire has grown leaps and bounds. You see behind me is typical. How you doing?
Pretty bad.
Now he's raw. How hard is it to see it like this?
How could this happen? I thought the Second Amendment prevented this from happening by having good guys with guns. Yeah, well, you see, anyways, look, anyways. Too much security, sorry, this is Joe Biden's fault. Too much of the Secret Service is fighting off the Grim Reaper. Trump's detail was understaffed. Is this real, chat? Is this real? Yeah. More presidential response on now, you see. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate on why the shooter was allowed to get that many shots off. But it seems like anytime you introduced local law enforcement, shit's not going to go well. Shit is just not going to go well. Oh, I saw this. I don't believe anything on 4chan. I'm sorry. My name is Jonathan Willis. I'm an officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof. I came here to publicly inform everyone that I had the assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes, but the head of the Secret Service refused to give the order. 100% top brass prevented me from killing assassin before he took the shots at President Trump. I don't believe anything that's on. I'm sorry. I don't believe anything that's on 4chan. I just don't. After I killed the shooter, I was arrested, questioned by the FBI, and released an hour ago. Already lost my job for not following orders, but I'm glad I took the shots anyways. Oh my, yeah, this is the most fake shit I've ever seen in my life. Straight up, literally the most fake shit of my life. It really, oh my God, wow, you're so brave. You lost your job because you just had to stick by your morals and values. The type of person with these type of morals would not go to 4chan and post about it. Be real. Oh my God, be real. Way more likely is that the local police that was involved in securing that building didn't do their fucking job. Police incompetence is so reliably consistent. Like, come on. Also, it could have been true that the this guy, the shooter, or the sniper from the Secret Service, it could have been true that he saw that other guy, but he couldn't shoot him because he didn't know whether or not that was with the police department. That is also very likely. It's totally possible. It's like, hey, can we get a confirmation on an ID on who's on that building right now? Can we get a confirmation that's not an officer from a local police department? It's not like some other operation. Can we please get a confirmation? It's like, oh, that is likely. Likely as in like more than somewhere around a 1% chance. Like, oh, I knew he was the shooter, but I wasn't allowed to shoot him. I wasn't allowed to. Oh, okay, dude, yeah. Go to 4chan to get your Reddit karma. Stupid. Multiple jurisdictions gets really complicated as well. Exactly. Precisely. 100%. 100%. But anyways, yep. There's also bad and limited communication between local police and Secret Service. Yeah. Yep.
And
also, on principle, I just don't believe anything on 4chan.
Over my left shoulder, I heard several pops, and I knew immediately it was gunfire. At the moment I heard the shots being fired, I knew that this was a moment in American history that had to be documented. I mean, it's our job as journalists to do this work.
That was photojournalist from the Associated Press, Evan Vucci, doing it a long time. I covered 2016 with him. He was covering Donald Trump's rally when the assassination attempt took place, as he said. Also there was Boston Globe reporter James Pindle. He joins us now. James, it's really good to have you. I'm so glad you're okay. Tell us what it was like.
You know, we had a lot of focus in your previous segment on the sniper.
Get fired for being hero and green text post about it on 4chan.
Yeah.
And how the Secret Service snipers and how they were able to be so quick on the draw. And I know that's not exactly what you want to ask, but I think we should talk about it because about 25 minutes before Trump began speaking, I was noticing them. There was a lot of activity. There's 2 Secret Service snipers. People probably seen them from the photos. They were pretty active looking at binoculars, and they flat out set up their guns in the correct direction. So I don't know what that means. I'm not going to speculate. It's inappropriate to do that. But apparently, for whatever reason, they had those guns in that direction. Now, after a while, they started to calm down. I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's the access road for a lot of the folks coming to the rally. Maybe that's where the motorcade was. Maybe they were just going to track it to make sure that everything's fine and all that. But I didn't really think of it. But the first time I
kind of want to see what Fox News coverage of this looks like. Let's see if we can find
those snipers, and I actually thought it was proactive. Again, anyone who's been in a car wreck, time slows down. So when I say the TikTok of
control your breathing, squeeze on an exhale.
I wish I could have heard that, but my mouse died. Sorry. Please, why does this happen to me?
Things we're talking about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. It was very, very quick. So there's not a time to process of, oh my gosh, is this really happening? It's what is actually happening. And I saw the smoke from the snipers, and it wasn't until Trump got up with the Secret Service and I saw blood that I even thought anything even was incoming towards the rally. Again, I thought it was proactive.
So you had your eyes on these snipers. They caught your attention before any of this happened. And when you heard those shots, that's the first place you looked.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it was, you know, you can see that I was standing right in front of the TV cameras, or I was sitting actually in front of the TV cameras. That's where the shade was. It was a really hot, really super sunny day. And I was typing, so I was not looking right at the former president, but then I looked up and I could see some smoke from the snipers, and that's where I thought, oh, this is only outgoing, not incoming.
When you realized it was incoming, when you saw Donald Trump down on the ground, then rise up with blood on his ear, what was your thought then?
Oh my goodness! But he's alive. He obviously, you saw him mouthing something to the crowd, so he was coherent. Because we had no idea what was happening. I'll say, Katie, you know, you and I, we've seen each other at rallies a lot. People say, did you ever imagine this could happen? Yeah, I imagine it every single rally I go to. It's a concern. And I don't know how you feel, but at every single rally, this is a possibility. We're in America where there's mass shootings nonstop. We're deeply politically polarized. And I'll be honest, I thought it could happen there when I was there. I was like, wow, this is open air. I didn't imagine it. It was a quick thought. It wasn't much there, but my wife is always concerned. You know, are you safe? It was not an improbable thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, my producer, when I would want to leave after he was done speaking, but he was still talking to people in the crowd or was still on premises, would tell me no, just in case something happens. God forbid there's an assassination attempt. You got to stay until he's gone. And this is exactly the scenario that you.
God. Let's see the interviews that they're hosting over at Fox News. That interview was so fucking boring, so fucking resident sleeper. Yeah, okay.
Of
President Biden attempting to do that yesterday with his comments shortly after
25 months. Jack,
news broke about former President Trump's attempted assassination. We just saw it in his Oval Office address.
And as you mentioned, there is that human factor. Let us not forget that one man, a retired firefighter, Corey Comparatori, lost his life at the rally yesterday. 2 others remain in critical condition. Dr. Nicordelai-Corte, we have just 2 minutes before we have to go to our final 2-minute break. But any final thoughts that you would want to share with our Live Now from Fox viewers?
You know, like so many of our fellow Americans, this morning I woke up just with a heavy heart. These are really challenging times for our country. I think we've all experienced another collective trauma watching the attempted assassination of former President Trump unfold live on television. I think a lot of folks still haven't even recovered from the darkest days of COVID. They still haven't recovered from the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and too many other people to name. And so I hope that this instance represents a clarion call to anyone and everyone in public service to resist the urge to divide and to lean into a unique opportunity to unite.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate it.
Okay, let's see Fox News. What are they saying over at Fox News?
Movement by President Trump behind that podium. Your thoughts today, sir?
Martha, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, I was so angry, but yet I'm also very thankful that President Trump is fine. And I'm sickened by the fact that a patriotic, innocent American was killed due to this political violence. But, you know, the questions that I have are, and incidentally, I talked to Chairman Comer yesterday. We are going to hold emergency hearings. We have to get to the bottom of this. How in the world does a shooter get to a roof 130 yards from where the president is speaking with a rifle and a clear line of sight? Where were the drones? Where was the Secret Service? And secondly, after those shots rang out, we think 8 to 10 shots. Why wasn't the president whisked away immediately? That's the Secret Service's job. Yes, you, me, President Trump may want to get our shoes and raise our fists.
Because he was too busy trying to get some fucking photos. He was fighting those fuckers. He was fighting his own Secret Service. He's like, wait, I need my shoes. No free feet. Hold up. And then, one second, wait, there's a perfect opportunity. Get the fuck out of my way. Saving my life. Move. Yeah, fight. Like, oh my God. Why didn't the Secret Service do their job? Because he didn't let them? You can watch the video and see it.
But it's also terrifying because there could have easily been another shot. We didn't at that point know where the shooter was or whether or not he had been disabled. You know, your thoughts on what needs to happen in terms of this never happening again. I can't help but think that most of the people who are on these jobs, and I don't mean any disrespect to them, but 43 years ago was the last time this happened. I mean, have we reached a level of complacency for those, you know, who witnessed Ronald Reagan's shooting? That is the most similar thing to what we saw yesterday. And I would just wonder how seriously we've been taking this threat.
There were breaches, certainly, and there were lapses. And as you said, Martha, they can't ever happen again. I mean, it'd be one thing if it's a tragedy struck and somebody was taking a shot a mile away. That's awful and that's horrible, and you try to prevent that. That wasn't 1,700 yards away. It was 130. It was in a building right next to the event. So I'm scratching my head. And you made a good point with, what if that bullet had been just a few millimeters on course? What would we be talking about today? Would the fabric of our own representative republic would it be torn apart? I mean, that's what's frightening to me.
Who's playing a guitar?
It is. I mean, you think about the fact that we were just talking the past few weeks about President capabilities. The
guitar stopped.
In the blink of an eye, we could have been in a situation where you had, potentially no nominees for the presidency, and we thank God that is not what happened. And we'll hear from the president. What do you think of the president's reaction so far to all this? We're going to hear from him in the Oval Office later this evening.
Courageous, Martha, courageous, grit, determined. It reminded me of like Old Hickory, Andrew Jackson, when he had an assassination
We're just in
attempt
the
and he
booth
went
going
after the guy
wild.
with a stick. It reminded me of TR, Teddy Roosevelt, getting shot in the chest and continue his speech. I suspect that President Trump would have liked to finish his speech. That's the kind of guy he is. He's fearless. He's fighting for us, and I couldn't be prouder of him.
Just quickly, you know, we talk about 2 different presidents, but in 20 seconds, what about President Biden so far?
Hello?
I'm sorry, Martha, what you say?
What about President Biden's reaction so far? Just 10 seconds.
Oh, I think, just meek, milquetoast, mild. No, I'm not impressed.
Okay. Pat Fallon, Representative, thank you very much. Good to have you with us.
Was someone like playing the guitar in his house? His like kid, his wife is like, nah, I don't give a fuck about that. Are you kidding me? I gotta practice. What was happening? What the? It's probably because they're at the convention doing like sound checks or something. Yeah, maybe. They might have been doing sound checks at the convention. You might be right. Anyways, guys. Listen. All right. That is, I believe, all of the coverage for today on this. We will be back again tomorrow to catch up on anything that happens, any live news, anything that it gets reported.